1 second.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. All right, public meeting statement. Pursuant to the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been published in the Berlin County Times and Trenton Times on the 5th day of January 2025. Additionally posted on the official bulletin board of the Township of Pemberton on the first day of January 2025. Those wish to be notified of changes to scheduled meetings are notified via email or regular mail. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dewey?
Here.
Mr. Harper?
Here.
Mr. Ward?
Here.
Mr. Doyle?
Here.
Mr. Bianchini?
Here. The meeting is now called to order. Resolution number 248, 2025 authorizes council to go into closed session. We have no need to go into closed session tonight. You're welcome. I will now open up the floor for public comments. Come on, Marty.
Okay. Good evening, members of the Town Council, fellow residents, Mayor. My name is Marty Graf-Wenger, the proud president of the Browns Mills Improvement Association, or BMIA for short. I appreciate the opportunity to speak about some upcoming events and initiatives that will help us continue to grow and thrive. As you know, on the agenda tonight, the Town Council is being asked to consent to the hiring of a new Director of Recreation. While we have not seen his resume or references, we have done some research ourselves online and noted that he has received positive reviews from a former position. We hope that he will bring that enthusiasm and skill set to our town and help us improve our image here. Should this new Director of Recreation be hired, we would love to work with him closely and invite him to become a member of the BMIA. It's essential for community organizations to collaborate with our local government as we all share the same goals for improving our community. The BMIA and the Recreation Department have collaborated since the inception of the Recreation Department in Pemberton Township. The founding of Browns Mills brought many Philadelphians to our area seeking the clean air and serene environment, a refreshing change from the bustling industrial landscape of the city. Many came here looking for wellness and rejuvenation, and we envision bringing that spirit back with programs centered around health and wellness. We can create lakeside wellness activities that truly attract those seeking tranquility and rejuvenation, such as lakeside yoga and Pilates. These events would not only draw visitors, but also showcase everything we already love about our lakes, beauty and serenity, that many outsiders just don't know about yet. Imagine hosting a lakeside music festival with sweet sounds drifting over the water while families gather to dance like no one's watching. Or organizing a fishing tournament where everyone strives to land the biggest catch. Picture the laughter and splashes during kayak and paddleboard races, especially when someone takes an unexpected dive into the lake. While we appreciate the events being held at this township building, our concern is that many of the folks who visit these events might not venture over the 3 big hills into town to spend their money at our local businesses. Many people express discontent about the lack of restaurants or big businesses in town. The reality is that when more visitors come to our town, big businesses are willing to take a chance on us. So we need to make a more welcoming environment for outsiders to come in, enjoy our community, and spend their money here. Now on to our events. I want to remind everyone about our upcoming planning meeting this Sunday, August 24th, at the BMI building located on 40 Arbutus Street at 2 p.m. We're hoping to get a good turnout of volunteers. We'll have various committees for folks to get involved in, and we also have some open board of director seats. If anyone is thinking about joining our team, we'd love to have you. Next, mark your calendars for September 5th. Join us for fun Friday nights, kicking off with open mic night at our building, where anyone can showcase their talents or enjoy the performances. BMIA members always eat for free, because what's a community without a little food and fun? Then on September 27th, we'll be participating in Clean Communities event starting at 8 a.m., meeting at the Country Lakes Fire Department. It's a great opportunity to roll up your sleeves and give back to our wonderful town. And don't forget to sign in on the BMI clipboard when you arrive. We want to make sure that everyone is counted and recognized. Following that, on September 28th, we're hosting the Red Cross Blood Drive. This is a fantastic chance to be a hero. Roll up your sleeves and help save lives. Later that same day at 3 p.m., we're having our annual general membership meeting where we'll elect our board of directors and offer refreshments for all. In closing, I encourage everyone to come together and celebrate our community and all that it has to offer. Let's turn our dreams into reality and make new memories and continue to build a vibrant, welcoming town. Thank you for your time. I can't wait to see what we accomplish together. Have a good night.
Thanks, Marty. Oh, Marty, by the way, Danny and I met with the base commander today.
Yes,
He's-
I just heard, right? So
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
good.
So you got some good news?
Well,
Or on the-
BMIA was part of our discussion. with
Right,
them,
I
so-
love that. Yeah, we'd love to have them. And I'm
Yeah.
working on creating new pamphlets so that we'll have like information that we can hand out.
Yeah, I'm going to send to their public affairs office the link to your site,
Okay,
just so she has it, and they're going to figure out a way to market it across the base.
yeah, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh.
thank you. Mhm.
You're not alone, trust me.
My name is Rachel Dudley. I already live in Browns Mills. Do you need my full address?
Yes.
Out loud?
No, we're here. She doesn't have to give a
Oh, no? Oh, they don't have to get full,
The
no.
Okay.
Oh, I thought-
So I don't know how this works, and I was sent to speak to you.
Okay.
We were. This? I guess, good? Short people. So I was served with an ordinance, and I would like to know how we can go about revisiting this ordinance through you, through the council. And the ordinance is 182-9.2B. It's the commercial vehicle one. So we were recently got a warning about it, and they're telling us that we're no longer allowed to park our vehicle there, right? So with that, I asked how we can move forward. One, I have to go to zoning and then probably a variance. But I would like to look into it because I'm not running a business out of it. It's a vehicle that I need to do work. I need it there, and because some of it's emergency response, I just don't have the time to go to like another spot to get it while we're on duty. But the township's saying that, and it wasn't, let me be clear, it wasn't on the road. It was in my yard. It was in the yard, and they're saying that I'm nervous. We're no longer allowed to have it there. So I would like to know what I need to do to remedy this. Now, I spoke to my neighbors, and my neighbors are fine with it. They benefit from it, yada, yada, yada. But she explained to me it was I guess, a township thing. A lot of people do it. I'm here for me, so I just need to know how we can revisit this and go about it.
I recommend making an appointment with the Community Development Office, Mrs. Flaherty. She runs that part of the organization, for code enforcement. She'll probably give you some idea of how to handle that.
Right, code enforcement told me that I had to go to zoning. Zoning sent me a message saying that now I have to go to a variance. I asked them about looking into the ordinance. Ms. Jones said I had to come here and speak to you, so maybe you guys can revisit this ordinance that was passed in 2022. She advised me that the ordinance was never enforced. Higher-ups are now making her enforce it now.
Council President, may I? I think I know what Ms. Dudley's talking about. I believe when the previous administration and council were dealing with this, and I think you're right, it was like November 2022. Councilman Dewey, I think you and I were actually sitting in the audience together when they passed this.
What kind of vehicle is it?
It's a tow truck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, Ms. Dudley, to be clear on this, if I'm not mistaken, I believe
you guys have a tow service. And one
Yes.
thing about a tow service is for lack of a better word, you're on call.
Yes,
And you have the tow truck stored in your residence, at your residence,
Yes.
off of the public right-of-way, not
Yes.
interfering with any traffic.
yes,
And however, it's a requirement. It's not a necessity just to run your business, but it's a requirement for on-call services to be done in a timely manner, such as
Yes.
police calls, maybe not for Pemberton, but for any other town. The sooner you can get there, obviously, the better the customer, client, or township benefits.
we also work in Pemberton Township, we do work here. And I have the picture where it shows that it's in my yard, it's not in the road.
I'm
And
familiar.
then my other, I'm sorry.
No, and Councilman
Sorry.
Doyle, this pertains to the tow trucks, but it also pertains
No.
to school buses
Correct.
and some other things. And there's a lot of school bus drivers in this town that park their school bus on their property.
Correct.
Some people are zoned, I know there was an issue out towards Magnolia Way where it was zoned where they could legally do that, but not everyone has that zoning. And when this ordinance was passed 2.5 years ago or whatever it was, there was a gentleman in the audience, I don't know who it was, he was a tow truck driver and he had a state contract. And by the state contract, they had a certain amount of time that they had to respond to these calls.
Right.
And in order to make that, he had to keep the tow truck in his driveway so he could jump out of bed, get in it, and go to the calls. If he had to relocate the truck to a suitable, like the parking place up in Bordentown, that additional drive to go get a truck was just unrealistic, and he would have lost his contract and his livelihood.
Correct.
So I wasn't in big favor of the ordinance back when it was passed 2 years ago. I got elected as mayor. Mayor doesn't do the ordinances, but council does. So it may be something that would behoove our residents and our town to review it and maybe look at suggestions from people like Ms. Dudley to change certain sections of that.
Just so I can back this up, this is not a new business, but it's a reinvented business because I was sick. Back when my husband first opened it, we lived on Phillips, and this had came up then as well, and it was not to have them on the roadway. And then it was revisited and it was put in the yard. I didn't know it was such a thing until Ms. Jones, served us. So that is my issue that we're having. And like he said, if I don't respond for ETAs, I'm going to lose contracts.
I can speak a bit about when this came about, because the reason it was brought about actually occurred in our neighborhood. There was a resident that was operating a full trucking company, like 18-wheeler tractor trailer company, out of his yard. And every morning at around 4 a.m., he backed his tractor trailer off the curb out of the back of his yard, and he was waking up his neighbors. So it was meant to prevent that type of activity, but I think it ended up encompassing more than that. So there's got to be, I guess, a happy medium.
Right. I
Because,
also
mean,
just
I
want-
would agree, I would not want to be woken up at 4 a.m. every day by a rattling tractor
I
trailer.
just want to back up on that, right?
And this is a residential community.
Yes.
So if you're not in residential, it's different, but this was for residential zones, and,
Right.
but that's where this came from.
Right, right, and I'm residential as well.
Right.
One of two things. One, we try not to do the neighbors. I'm older now, so I don't jump out at 3 o'clock in the morning and mess around with those kind of people if I don't have to, right? So and our trucks are brand new, so it's under the DP thing and the guidelines. My only other problem with this is, it's based on weight. My paperwork is based on weight, okay? And the tow truck, a commercial vehicle is max capacity. So when we tried to show her that we would be under the weight that she's saying, right? So the truck is at 25.5, right? And if you take off, like the car and stuff, you take the 12,000 pounds off, we're at 13,000 pounds. So we're under what she's saying at 16.1, right? And it says light duty on the registration. She said that they cannot go by that, they have to go by the registration, which is 25.5, and that's not fair because my truck is not 25.5. If my truck was that base weight, then that would be considered heavy duty and medium duty, and we're in the light duty right now. So my truck is under it, but they won't hear that. They didn't want to hear that. She said, I'm going by your registration, even though underneath the registration it said light duty. So I tried everything, and she said, you got to go to council.
Ms.
Mrs. Dudley, can I interject real quick, Council President, if I could offer? You know, when that passed through, I think I was in the audience with Mr. Dewey and Jack there, and I wasn't too happy with it either. And what I could say is, I did some investigation on that last year. And surprisingly enough, 19% of Pemberton Township is in the transportation business, from the demographic study that was done, which is pretty interesting. It's very, very high, right? Looking at other townships and working with the solicitor, what I would recommend to council would be to potentially looking into that ordinance. And Jerry, I know for a fact there's a couple other townships that offer, I hate to add another layer to it, but like a sticker that allows for a certain type of use variance for trucks that we could possibly work into that ordinance.
If it's okay with the council, I'll look into it and I'll talk to Ms. Jones about that we're looking into the ordinance and that. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me, thank you. I'm gonna, also, if it's okay with the council, we'll look into the ordinance. Now, the ordinance takes a month to be approved, 2 meetings.
Okay.
But I'll speak also with the council's approval with Ms. Jones and tell her we're looking at it, so just slow down in terms of the summons.
Okay.
All right?
No, don't get me wrong, she was very,
No, I'm
very
not
nice to
saying
me.
that, but I mean, you get a
She
summons, you're
was-
supposed to go to court.
right.
Maybe we can work, you know.
My worry, here, let me just be transparent, okay? My worry is the house is under my mom, and my mom's almost 80. So it's my vehicle, but it's in her name. I asked her to give this to me, and she says she will not. I don't want my almost 80-year-old mother, who's handicapped and can't hear, be drugged to court. So this is what put a fire in my little hiney to come here and speak. I don't want my mom to be part of it.
I think the council wants me to look into this and I'll speak to Ms.
Okay.
Jones about.
Do you want to see this?
I don't know what it is. Is that the summons?
Picture where it's in my yard. Thank you.
Let me do this. I'm going to take it if you
did
like,
well,
yeah.
did well.
All right. Can I, I'll take this to my office tomorrow, make a copy for me, and I'll mail it back to you at that address. Is that okay?
Yeah, but
I'm sorry?
I have a copy.
Ah, well, you're,
I just wanted to show the picture where it's actually inside.
all right, can I hold on to this then? All right, good. And tell me again that ordinance. Is it 182-9-something? Oh, I see.
My husband had to show it to me because I couldn't find it.
I got it, 9.2B. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I don't know anything else.
All right, we'll look into it.
All right, thank you.
We'll definitely look into it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I think this is my turn. I'm here today, my name is Ellie, and I'm the owner of the laundromat in the shopping center, which is going to be turned down. And I'm here to celebrate Mr. Jack and the lawyer of the town of their victory. As I have 2 months, 3 months, and I'm going to move out. As all the council people and the people here, they have requested many times, previous council and the previous council, what they call it, the president has requested. But Mr. Mayor has made up his mind because he wants to bring the tractor trailer. Very soon, you will hear the dead kids are dead on the street because your streets are not big enough to tractor trailers, trucks to come and supply. As you was talking about everybody's parking, yes, they're parking because the streets are not big enough. So I'm here to let you know I have 3 months, but I'm going to get out early as I hire a professional to move my machines, as those machines need a professional, not anybody can handle. They got to drain the water, they gotta dry out all the water from the line, and they gotta seal the machines, and that's what they do, and they're gonna move it. And now I'm gonna go in storage room, weatherproof storage room. I cannot put it any storage room because of the heat or cold will melt the insulation sealing, rubber sealing around the machines. Now, I'm very happy for Mr. Jack to be succeed and you, but the thing is this, none of you know what is the meaning of domain. What it does mean. As a big law, if you go online, read it, this thick. Eminent domain is not the state law, it's the country law, federal law. I'm under the federal law, I'm here. And I have no place to move, as they're supposed to give me a room. They're supposed, it is clearly written in eminent domain if you look at the law. They have to provide me. I don't have to go outside and buy, but I'm trying to buy, trying to help. But even then, I have a problem because of zoning. If I go and buy the bank, $25,000 yearly is a property tax. I can't afford that because my electric and gas bill is going to be $3,000 and $2,000, $2,500 for the tax. So I won't be able to do that. I rejected that. They were told me that the, what do you call it, a salesperson in the town wanted to give me the property right behind the, I forgot the name of the, right behind the CVS. And they said, you buy, and I signed the paper, I give $2,000. I didn't know how big it is. When Johnny Archer came to me, he said, you have to owe $800 more. I said, let me go and see the property. I came and see the property. Property has a 4 parking lot and little grass in the back where the agency has put a garage up there. Now, I would never do business in that small place. And that's what became the issue in the court, that Mr. Ellie refused it. Now, Mr. Ellie did not refuse because Mr. Ellie's request was 2,000 square feet plus parking lot. But somebody forced through the lawyer to say that under the oath, and they say I refused it. It will be challenged very soon. Now I'm here to let people know, all of you, thank you of asking for me to give me the place. But the gentleman up there, they want me to, but the gentleman up there, I don't know. I don't want to say anything in his respect. I do have a respect for him because he is the mayor. I went through a lot of stuff. Everybody wants me, but because of this gentleman, I'm going to go out. But when I go out, it's going to be a lot of money for a professional to move my equipment and storage room. Now, if I'm 6 months, 8 months, 10 months in the storage room, it's not going to go for my pocket. It's never going to my pocket. Eminent domain, read the laws. Sir, I request you to go online, print the laws, and read. Some councilmen know that, but somebody is ignoring that. I used to come here, I thought maybe
Mr. Ellie, you have to wrap this up pretty soon because you're over time and we have other people waiting to come up.
What?
You're over your time limit.
I have to hold, I'm saying something.
You only get 5 minutes.
Okay, I went
And
to the
that's when the buzzer
council,
went
I
off,
went
but-
to the lady who was in charge of the zoning. I talked to her. She was very, very helpful. Her name is Rosemary. She's the best ever I've seen, like these council people. And she was going to help me, but somehow she's been told not to talk to Mr. Elliott. Now she's in charge of the zoning. If she don't talk to the business people, who she's going to talk? She's been threatened that she's going to get fired. All these things are going on under the council. I feel so sorry. Educated, highly educated, mostly that gentleman, this gentleman, and you, they all educated people. These gentlemen have a lot of experience with police. All these things are going on under their table, under their belt. Why? Why somebody cannot stand up and take action against a gentleman? 8 lawsuits. More coming. More coming, sir. And it's going to be a big one, too. Now, how long?
Mr. Ellie, you really have to wrap it up.
Yeah,
We have other
I'm
people
gonna,
waiting to
I'm
come here
gonna
and
get
talk.
out. I'm gonna get out from the town, but I tell you what, 8 or 10 months of his is going to bring you 10 more lawsuits. Thank you. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you,
for
Mr. Early.
help me. I really appreciate that. Have a blessed day, and you too,
You too,
sir.
Mr. Ellie.
You too have a blessed day.
Council President, Jerry, when they had this hearing, was there anything stipulated about assisting with moving and storage, or? Okay, all right,
The agreement provides
there was an agreement, though.
Yeah, that's what.
the agreement provides, the original agreement from 3 or 4 years ago provides that we would financially assist Mr. Ellie in his moving. And we're going to get reimbursed that from the redeveloper.
Okay,
So,
all right, no problem.
Good evening, council. Your mic's on. Before I start on the agenda, I just have one question. What is the status of the Browns Mill Shopping Center and the landlord-tenant dispute?
Vacation, Mark,
Okay.
Mark, talk to it.
All right, starting on the resolutions, 249, 2025, I just say yes to because it's standard business as of 2025, so sure. 250, 2025, my question is, did we not vote to reappoint at the last meeting all the people that were police firefighters or fire police officers or whatever they are? 251, 2025, Harry, you and I talked about this. This was just extending the hours for a local bar, right? Do you know what the name of the bar was, by chance? No? All right. 253, 2025. My questions were basically for 252 and 253, these are involving the water projects, right? Like water, were these part of the water ordinance that was shot down at the last meeting that we're now doing separately from the water ordinance that will be coming up possibly at the next meeting? Because you have to vote on it tonight since it's a new ordinance, right? Ordinance for introduction.
We're introducing it tonight.
Right. Well, it lost because it didn't have a majority at the last meeting.
So for 252 and 253,
Yeah, they involved the water project.
They're separate
Yeah.
from the bond ordinance.
Okay,
These are spare parts, basically, for the operation of the water department throughout the year.
okay. 254, I say yes to. I think my question for that one was, how much is the professional services contract with ERI? 255, how much is the contract with ERI for the construction management and inspection of Phase 1 of the Safe Routes project. 256, 2025, my question is, how much is the contract with the command company, and what is the scope of Phase 1 of the project for the Safe Routes improvement project for just Phase 1? Because I think there's 5 phases, right? I think 4 or 5? Okay, and 257, 2025, I would have to say, I do not know who Kendall Brunson is. I'm sure he's a very nice gentleman. I would say no, only because you were handed resumes for him. And unfortunately, in the resumes, there's a reference a letter that you guys are able to call about his people that he's referenced in the letter. And I've been told that it was redacted, which I don't know why a reference letter would be redacted, because this is normal stuff in a job application that you as legislators or members of council have to do your due diligence to be able to investigate the people that the mayor wants, so that way you guys can make a very accurate and appropriate decision. So with that, I would say just hold off on voting for him until you get either an unredacted reference letter from his resume, or, well, until you get an unredacted letter. I also understand that there was a contract that was made up for Mr. Brunson. I want to know how much the contract is, what kind of benefits he would be getting, and whether or not the contract was executed between the mayor and Mr. Brunson before the council had a chance to vote on this. I would also like, for Resolution 258, now I'm off of that one, so thank you. 258, 2025, my question is, what is the name of the qualified purchasing agent, and about how much will this individual make from Pemberton Township? Are we contracting their services, or do we have somebody within the township that is qualified to be a QPA? For new business, I say yes to both for the new purchases over 3,000. Number 12, my question is, how much is the bill list for this week, and when can we expect to see it on the township website? Thank you.
Let's start off with the water questions. So the contract for ERI for resolution,
Your mic?
sorry about that. It's Jerry's fault. The award, the resolution number 254, it's not to exceed 31,500.
Okay.
And what was the other one, Alex?
255, Amy,
That's just an appointment.
No,
To manage.
255 will be getting a grant to pay for those expenses, and I think it might be in the resolution. I don't remember.
578,000.
well, that's what
No,
the.
no, no, that's the contract with,
That's the cost, yeah.
ERI, Amy and I went over that, it was about 140,000, I think, for engineering costs.
and that's a grant.
Not to exceed, yeah,
Yeah.
it's all covered under the grant.
I think I just saw an email come across about an hour before the meeting,
Yeah,
where the estimate raised, it went up
oh, it did?
from last, and we've already applied for an additional grant money, and it's already been approved.
Oh, okay, all right.
Both of those, 255 and 256 are both grants. I don't, the resolution has the amount of the contract, but it's a 500,000 or something.
577, yeah.
578, yeah, that's
All
right.
right. And,
Where else we at?
well, you did 255 and 256.
You needed 250 for the reappointment of a fire police officer. If you
Yeah.
remember correctly, I believe last meeting, we had the appointment.
No, we did
Of
four,
four,
we did four,
but we
this
did a-
is an additional one.
This is a reappointment, correct, for an additional one?
Correct. The fire police officers are redone as their appointments expire. So the one that's on this meeting was set to expire.
Up to be
in September,
reappointed.
So
Yeah.
it's a reappointment.
Yeah.
Correct.
Thank you.
They're done sporadically throughout the year.
Yeah.
We only have, I believe, a total of 5 at this point.
Yeah,
And I think number 12 was the last one. You already know how I feel about 257.
250 some, no, 2,500,000 and some thousand, I believe, was the number I saw for this month's bill budget.
Did it go up because of the electric?
It fluctuates according to a lot of things, you know, how much fuel we buy, how much insurance costs are, you know, it fluctuates. I mean, some of the stuff on there was left over from 2024 budget, some uniforms for the DPW workers and stuff like that. So You know, it varies, yeah.
By the way, shout out to DPW for getting the streetlights fixed in the parking
Yep.
lot. Oh, do you have the renderings?
I have a rendering for you, yes, Alex.
Fantastic. You have it right there?
I do. It says extra. There you go.
I have always been extra. Thank you, gentlemen. Not a problem.
Marie Reynolds, Browns Mills. Despite the games that people may play, I hope that council, and I know that council, given a suggestion or a recommendation for a critical appointment in this town, would have done their due diligence, no matter what came with the package. And even having just seen the name of this person on the agenda, I did the same. And if we get this person, finally, I think we're going to have someone who has more than 22 years of experience in the field, who has worked in a municipality with a really vital, active recreation department, who has had received accolades from a number of social organizations and civic organizations. And please don't not appoint a person because somebody's playing games with the recommendation. Thank you.
And we did do our homework, too.
I knew you would. I mean, I didn't doubt it.
Anybody else? All right. Let's move on. Nope. Oh.
Hi. My name is Louise Peterson. I'm from Clubhouse Road. My issue isn't as important as some of these others, but I was just wondering who is responsible for maintaining the sidewalk between the auto parts on Broadway, between the auto parts store and the Acme Shopping Center. I walk my dogs every day. I have 2 big dogs, and that's part of our route. And the weeds are encroaching on the sidewalk, and there's less than half of the sidewalk available. We have to single file, and it's full of poison ivy and pricker bushes and wasps, not to mention the trash. I was just wondering, is that something that Public Works would do, or is that the responsibility of the businesses?
Is that the only question you have, ma'am?
Yeah,
All right, let me make sure I have this right. Between the auto parts store
and the Acme Shopping
and the Acme, so right that
On
strip
Broadway,
by
yeah.
McDonald's, right? Oh, on Broadway.
On Broadway.
I have a feeling that it's not Public Works. I think it's part of Pine Grove Plaza that owns that whole area, but that's something I'm gonna have to go through.
They seem to be doing, the landscapers seem to, they do like where that drainage ditch is, and then it stops. And if you drive by there, you look, like the weeds are way
So
over
your
the
concern is just the
sidewalk.
weeds coming out into the sidewalk?
Yeah, there's no sidewalk space. Yeah, they're just, everything's overgrown and.
I'll send an email to Community Development and Public Works, and I'll do my best to get Public Works out there tomorrow.
Thank you. That's it.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Vicki Adams, 613 Sander Drive. Hope you all like this rainy weather. I guess we're going to have it a few more days. I don't really have anything to ask tonight. I do want to let people know that I, along with the Libertarian Party, are going ahead with the recall of the mayor. We have the petition that got it started signing tonight. On Saturday, we're going to be meeting at Reflection Park from 8 to 5. Anybody who wants to come out to sign must be a Pemberton Township voting resident member. I just think it's very important. We've heard tonight people mention that, there's more lawsuits coming. We got another year and a half. Well, we need it to stop, like now. So I know everybody gets tired of me pushing this, what they call this horse or whatever, but I don't believe in letting evil to continue if I can have a say in, what is right. Okay, people are asking why the Libertarian Party is doing this. They're doing this because they don't believe in corrupt politics. And they believe that this is a very corrupt situation and that this mayor needs to step down. That's why they have come in to help. Somebody said that they had somebody running for mayor. I don't know that. I know that I'm doing this with them to get this mayor out of here so that our town can be a more upright and just town, and that the corruption will go away as quick as possible. So I just wanted to let everybody know, if you're here tonight and you want to sign, I have the book, so just stop me and you can sign it. Okay, thank you.
Good evening. Good evening, Council, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple questions. It's been a long time, so hello to everybody. I've been a little bit busy or out of town. Anyway, long story short, what I was kind of questioning was, I see on here there's a ordinance coming up, 222025, entitled Redevelopment Agency. I see some of the, I just got this and was reading it since I got here, and how it's going to be put together with committee or what have you. And I kind of chuckled as I looked at this because declaring areas blighted, we lost 150 acres of farm ground for that reason. So I'm hoping we have some people on this committee that has a little more common sense than what we've had in the past, whether it be CME, Mark Remsa, whoever the case may be. So I'm hoping that council is very involved in this so we don't have any more of these issues coming up as so-called blighted that we're not. We have plenty in Browns Mills that would be blighted that we could rebuild or redevelop. That bringing up the other part of this, is there anything being done with that ground over there? Because if you want to see blighted now, you're seeing it. 5-foot mare's tail out in the field that have 500,000 seeds per plant, every other farmer around here is going to be having problems with it shortly. So either I believe Hovnanian ought to be out there mowing it down or taking care of that property. And I think they should be fined for it because it's a disgrace. It's bad enough that we're losing money on this and all the crap that we're going through with water and everything else. So that one more thing there, question on that too, was the bonds for the water main. Is that just routine stuff here, or is that also coinciding with part of the debacle that we have over there on North Pemberton Road? That's all. Like I said, I haven't been here in a while, keep it short.
So that bond ordinance, that doesn't include the chaos stuff, that was separate.
Yeah, the bond ordinance covers water projects throughout the whole town. A very small amount of it is for the tie-in from the borough to where we're going to run water. But that's the only part for there, as far as the bond ordinance goes.
Once again, it's bond after bond for a water company that was self-sufficient at one time, so that's kind of a little rough to swallow as well. And the other thing that mentioning that, and that's why I questioned that, and thank you, Mr. Harper, for that. We see the sinkhole that's over on 38 now.
Yeah.
Do you think an antiquated water main that's existing and tying more into it, you're not going to have the same problem that we're going to be paying for. Just a little common sense. I know that's rough
Yeah.
in politics and administration, but just a little bit would go a long way.
Well, I know what we're putting in is going to be new. I don't know what the borough's system is. It's supposed to be upgraded. And as far as the, bond ordinances, the more I'm learning now that I'm in office here, even though we've put it in as a bond ordinance, a lot of it's grant money, and once we finish the project, we recoup, I don't remember the exact amount on that one, but I believe more than 3/4 of that, we're going to recoup back after we've completed those projects. Yeah, so it's not all money going out. It's going to come back to us,
That's fine for the initial.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, there's also maintenance.
I was just going to say, he does bring up a good point. If we don't have the fields out there being maintained by a farmer, wouldn't the overgrown properties and property maintenance still apply to farmland as well?
No, there's some exemptions to farms because you're allowed to let the fields go furrow, am I correct?
But it's not a farm anymore.
I mean, we can beat this horse all day.
No, and you are correct to a certain set aside on ground. Yes, I can.
Yeah,
But it still has to be maintained. So even if it was through CRP, Resource Preserve, it does have to be maintained, the same as they do out in the west, pasture land or anything else. If it's under a conservation program, it still has to be maintained. So either mowed, burn off,
yep.
whatever case may be, it cannot be grown up like it is.
So Jack, I guess throw this back at you. Can you talk to community development and see what they can do? I mean, I don't know what they can do.
As Pat was talking, I wrote a note, Cahill cut grass.
Okay, okay.
Cut the mayor's tail.
Yeah.
I'm going to be emailing community development before I leave tonight, asking if they can reach out to them and
Yeah,
get that on the schedule.
yeah, I'm sure they'll be able to find the proper ordinance that, pertains to that.
Very good, thank you.
No
And
problem.
Pat, the reason for the redevelopment committee is the reason for the redevelopment committee is so we don't get caught in the situations we're in now.
And that's why I was asking that, and it's good that I hope we have some people with common sense other than listening to, CMA and Reg and
Exactly.
everybody else. So, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
I have one more question.
You already came up, Mr.
And
Early.
I'm gonna ask after everybody finishes.
Good evening, everybody in general.
Hello, Ms. Phillips.
Okay, my next, first thing what I'm going to get touch on it, I was told in the National Night Outs, the no litter sign has been already received by the township. I'd like to know when they're going to display them. I drive every day on Spring Lake Boulevard, where they supposed to be annexed, and it's nothing in there. The only thing is there is a turkey. That's it. Okay, my next thing, it is in reference, I brought it to their attention in the past meeting. Never will forget in my life, because for that son, there, probably still alive. They put some poles in there after my vet accident in the reflector, where some fool did, put one of the sign for his business between, and I stated in here, if they don't be removing before the meeting, I will go remove it myself. But apparently, travel every day in the roads. Between the 13 and the 14, the sign was removed. Don't ask me who removed it, but it's removed, okay? That's the main thing. Maybe save somebody's life, maybe mine, because I travel every day in the road. Another thing I'm going just to chop on it in the study for the Yellow Bank. What is the deal on it? This township is the one supposed to know what is going on with that. We should get that building back, please. I beg you. I don't mind to put my tax money there, okay? It's worth it. I'm receiving a lot of mail lately in reference to the American water. These stupid people or the administration doesn't know who they can mail letters. Number one, these people doesn't know that we do not have American water. We got our own wells. I'm not the only one receiving that. Everybody is receiving those. I received 3 letters. Remember, your water is going to go up. You need a new meters. Okay? I don't know who's getting paid for that, or the company, or the township. Somebody tell them to just go there. Anyway, I want to know, walking, what happened with the old lake store? I've been hearing the rumor it's going to be for tax sale and whatever. What is the standard in there? That's been in there for a lot of years empty. Will be nice to see something in there. I want to know also what is the study this time with Burlington County College across the street. I know they've been cleaning the place, and I know they're going to be destroyed. That is going to cost them millions in there. But also across the street where is a signing with the previous president, Mr. Biden, does look like a forest. Does anybody got any idea what is coming in there? If they got to clear up the lane or something? I just hope that somebody look into. Because sooner or later, we're going to have the same problem like Burlington County College across the street. Okay, now, Monday, I guess it was Monday, I was passing by to my entrance, the main entrance, and I think every single cop in our township wasn't there. For detectives to police car. I think that will be nice in the future. In this right side of me will be every single person, the waterman, the, how they call it, all different branches, for the police chief. You got any question to ask what is going on? I do not know what is going on in my town. I don't believe in FaceTime, I don't believe in phone, I don't believe in nothing. But where attract me it is, I'm coming by to the Ryan, Virginia Drive, here every single police car, straight in both sides. They don't even notify the people, the resident, what that something is going on. It has been a shooting in there or whatever is taking place. And then little children's on the road right now. But that will be nice. And I just hope that in the future, in the old day, we used to have this side of the road. Everybody was there. And I will appreciate that. And I will be here in 2 weeks. And I want to hear the main things about it. The Yellow Bank, the shopping center, what they call it, and the Burlington County College. You can answer me those 3 questions.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips.
Mr. Mayor, she had asked a question about some no littering signs. Would you have any kind of update for her on them, sir?
I know I was requested to order them, and I said, you go ahead and order them. As you might remember, when we put signs out, we have to call in mark outs so that when we put the pole in, we don't hit a utility or something like that. They probably are doing evaluations on where they want to put these signs. Some of the areas that we're looking at over in there isn't township property. It's actually state property. So we can't put it on state property. So I can follow up with Public Works, but I'm going to assume that they're doing some research on this and doing what they need to do to put these things in. The other thing I want to address is I did get a little bit of information, and I normally don't, just something happened. I did get a little information on the police activity at PL a couple of days ago. It was not a shooting. It didn't involve any children. It was police officers doing police officers' jobs. That's all it was.
How's that work, Ms. Phillips, okay? Unfortunately, Ms. Phillips, I can only tell you from personal experience being out there, sometimes the last thing you want to do is notify the public of what's going on. And honestly, sometimes think about it, if it were your residence and there was something going on, it could be personal in nature, regardless of the number of officers there. They're there for one reason, and that's public safety. Maybe those many numbers, sometimes it requires additional numbers just to make sure the public is safe, but maybe there was nothing for the public to be alarmed about. So business stays in that area where it needs to stay. It doesn't need to be public at that time.
Good evening, Council. James Boland, 226 Filbert Avenue. And I'd like to touch on something that came up in the meeting from last May, which is TNR, trap, neuter, release for the cats. Because we have a cat problem in town, especially in the neighborhood where I live, so I see it. And I did an open request, and because I haven't seen it on the agenda yet, but I did an open request, and it looks like there's been some back and forth, there's been some discussion, but I don't know how far it's gotten, I don't know how far it is now, and I'm just hoping that it's not something that's going to fade away. I hope that this is going to gain momentum.
Ms. Kozlowski's been working it, so.
As you've seen in the emails that you opened, Mr. Boland, I have been in contact with the Friends of the Burlington County Animal Shelter and a couple other organizations. We're currently trying to set a date for a meeting. I was away on vacation for 2 weeks, and having come back, I'm still getting caught up on stuff, and because we're trying to arrange it between them, the police department, animal control, and my office. So we're trying to get that meeting together to make sure whatever is presented to council is a good ordinance, or the facts, or, you know.
So we could say it's going forward.
It is being worked on. It's just, we have to get everybody together at the table to make sure we're presenting all the correct information.
Okay, thank you. And I'd also like to talk about just Press Avenue in general. It's something that I see because I live near Press Avenue, and it's something that it's been brought up in council meetings going back, I don't know, half a decade or more. Other council members have brought it up in meetings, some of the things that go on there, and I'm talking about things that shouldn't be, shouldn't have been, and things that should be done. And if you ask me, it's plain to see. So I'm going to ask if you council members can do something that I know you've done before, and I know you've done for other areas, and I've done this for other areas too. When we have a problem in town, I like to drive through the area. Any of the times that we've had this room filled up with people over an issue, I have to take a look. I got to see for myself. So I'm going to ask maybe if, council members, if you'd like to do that, revisit the area, just take a look and see what you see and see what you think. And I'd like to touch on it. Feel free to reach out to me, and if any questions about, well, what do you see, Mr. Boland? Because I don't see it. Well, I'd be glad to tell you. And I, can revisit this maybe in another meeting. So I just want to put Press Avenue on the radar. Most of everything else I think I have on my list here is for the ordinances coming up, so I'll be back up in a little bit. So I just want to ask you to think about that.
Would one of them be 23 Press Avenue?
I'm trying to think if that's one of them.
It's the junkyard in the front yard?
The junkyard in the front yard seems to be the junkyard in the backyard now.
Yeah, okay.
And, it's not the only junkyard on Press. But,
Well, the other one is down further.
Right.
Where the guy's working on cars and you gotta go around. It's a 2-lane road and he's got one of the lanes gobbled up. And that's been going on for, because I grew up on Press Avenue, so I know
Right.
the street very well. I know 23 Press Avenue, there's no water there, no electric there, and it's headed for court, Superior Court. So,
It's being worked on.
yeah.
right, and not only does the lane get gobbled up, and not so much lately, but because what is being gobbled up now instead, the woods right next to it, somebody else's lot. And there's a driveway there suddenly. And you can see when you drive past, you can see that not only that you see cars in this makeshift driveway, you can actually see the stack of wood of trees that have been cut down. That can't be legal either. So it's a mess, and
Well, they're, on 23 Press Avenue, they're basically squatters there.
no kidding. Yeah, that's a problem. And there's a house right next to that.
The
That
brand new
was,
one?
that was, used to be woods. I don't know how those woods got knocked down. That's it's a Vitality property. I don't know how those woods got knocked down without any permit from the town or the
You're talking
Pinelands.
about the new house next to 23? Well, there was a foundation there that's, when I was a kid, there was a foundation there, and then it got knocked down probably 30 years ago, and a new foundation, and the trees grew up in it.
Right.
So all they did was clear the shrubs out of the foundation and built the house.
You know a lot more about it than I did, because,
Well, I'm the
yeah, because by the time
junior
I saw it,
historian here.
yeah, when I saw it, those trees were overgrown so much that you'd never even know unless you knew. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
I do want to make a statement real quick. I've seen a lot of chatter. Okay, public comments are now closed to the public. This seems kind of obvious. So I've seen a lot of chatter on social media, bumped into some people at Acme, even bumped into some people as far out as Walmart and Lumberton, complaining that their property tax went up. I will tell you, the property tax did go up, but it was not caused by your municipal tax rate, because we passed no increase on your municipal tax rate. The reason why property tax went up was because the school tax went up 9%. So I just want to make sure everybody understands that and we're clear. This council did not vote for a tax increase. As a matter of fact, we got the 0 tax increase for this year. So I just want to put that out there, get it on record, make sure everybody understands that. So please pass it on to your friends and neighbors. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. Next up, meeting minutes, regular meeting minutes of June 18th, 2025, and special meeting minutes of July 7th, 2025. Any questions, discussion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second?
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes, with the exception of special meeting minutes, July 7th, I have to abstain because I wasn't there.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes. Okay. Moving on to resolutions. Are there any specific resolutions aside from 251 and 257 through 259 that council would like to discuss?
I think that's all the ones I have underlined.
259 also.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that.
So,
258, 257.
Yep, and 251.
Yep.
And, yeah, 257, 258. That's
Make a
right.
motion to approve the resolutions as stated.
Consent agenda.
Minus the ones.
Consent agenda
With the consent agenda as amended.
That would include the purchases over 3,000.
Are you not counting 257 and 258?
No, so the motion is to move to a consent agenda with the exception of 251, 257, 258, and 259,
Oh, I see. All right.
and new business.
Yes, that's what
I'll second that.
Mr. Harper?
yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes. Okay, Resolution 251, 2025, temporarily approving the relaxation of hours of sale for alcoholic beverages.
Council President, if I may. Yeah, I've read this over, a couple times. I read a little bit on the, code in the township, and I think it was, a well-thought-out, thing that the people that did this one originally were taking in consideration of the 14 to 16 churches that we have here in town and religious organizations. And I think it was, set up that way to respect, these people and their wishes. I mean, when I was younger, and, I used to say, people, as a joke, I'd only drink, for good reasons, like when the sun came up or the sun went down. But as I got older and a little bit smarter, I understood people's reasons for doing certain things, and I think, amending this to start selling or buying or drinking at 9 a.m. for a special event is not something that, should be even considered. I don't think we should even entertain this motion, but if we do, I'll be a no.
Council President, if I may, the second whereas, it says Township Administration has received a request. I'm Township Administration, and the first time I saw this was when it was on the agenda. So I don't know where this came from.
This actually came to the clerk's office. I apologize. That was an error. We used a previous resolution as a guide, and
Okay.
obviously we
'Cause
need to review them.
When I reviewed this, I mean, I don't know what football game it is or whatever, but,
No,
if
it's,
I'm,
this request came from the American Legion. They're having an event for the first, I believe it's the first Eagles game. I don't know the Eagles schedule, but it's my understanding.
they're a canteen, right? Would they fall under this or not?
They
have to
still
follow liquor
sell
license,
Okay.
yeah.
alcohol.
I mean, my thoughts are well, it being a club, I guess, but usually I plan accordingly. If I need alcohol or wings to cook or chips or something like that, I go to the store ahead of time and get it.
And that's my thoughts, but, for whatever reason, I just see no reason to even entertain this motion, but, if we do, I'm a no.
Council President, if I may. In reading this, I'm looking at it, it says here, the Township Administration has received a request from licensees asking to temporarily relax this code to permit the sale of alcoholic beverages on Sunday to enable customers more opportunity to shop for such prior to the start of the first football game. To me, that sounds like takeout.
Well, they're open on Saturday night if they want to take out, I mean.
I'm in agreement with you, but I'm saying,
Yeah.
the way this is leading me to believe, and what I thought up until what we just heard and who put it in,
Yep.
it leads me to believe that.
Again, I apologize. A prior resolution was used as a guide, and the wording wasn't.
Oh, no problem.
corrected. This is for an event that the American Legion is planning on having just that Sunday.
Okay.
It is
Yeah, I get it.
obviously still up to council to vote on. That was a request.
Yeah.
The request was passed through the council president. The resolution was done.
Last time I checked, the game doesn't start till 1, so.
I don't know. I'm going to make a motion to approve resolution number 251, 2025.
I'll second.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Abstain.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
No.
Resolution number 257, 2025, consenting to the appointment of Kendall Brunson as Director of Recreation and Senior Services for the Township of Pemberton. Discussion?
You want to start, Danny, or?
Yeah, I'll start. Let me just find my one paper here.
I'm going to ask one question first, okay, Dan?
Yeah.
While you're getting your papers. Jack, have we already extended the offer to Mr. Brunson?
I do believe Michelle has sent the offer to them,
Okay.
yes.
Where the hell did I put that?
I keep looking, I found mine. My thoughts, and, part of it is what Matt just brought up, that the offer was already extended. And we've had this conversation before about extending offers before council approves.
Councilman Harper, I think the offer was extended with, provided consent is given with the council. It wasn't that I've already hired.
Oh, no, and I understand that.
I just want to clarify that
Yep, and
because of the
there's-
way it was sounding.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no.
We did interview multiple people for this.
Yeah.
And it's like Ms. Reynolds said, this gentleman has got so much experience and so much potential for this town. It's crazy. We did reach out to a former recreation director from Pemberton Township that told us we would be absolutely positively crazy if we passed on this. I can't, I mean, usually you see one little thing that's like, well, maybe we can improve there or whatever. With this person, you pull up a dictionary and say, role model for recreation director, there's the picture for the person. They're just really outstanding, and I can't wait to see what they do with the
We did
township.
receive very positive feedback.
Yep, I mean, I have no problem with the person's qualifications, it's more about, and I hate to dig up the past, but it's, where we started at to wind up here. And part of it is the offer at the end. I mean, we basically started here 2023, where, again, I hate to dredge up the past, but I just got to. We had a perfectly good, director of recreation, and, through various reasons, it cost us $550,000 plus legal fees to basically push her out the door. And then we had a second perfectly qualified, totally qualified, and I'd match her qualifications with this guy here, who was already doing the job and doing it single-handedly. It's just a shame that, again, she did it for 6 months, and, and until she asked to get compensated for it, and, was begrudgingly compensated at the lowest possible amount of money, and all the other stress that was put upon her, she was, forced to go out and find a better job, which I don't blame her for that. It's the circumstances that it took to get to this point. And then here we are now, I saw the offer, and I'm not going to go over numbers. We went down the street with other candidates for other positions, but, we set, I know we have a salary range that we set, and you fell within that salary range. We also had Resolution 2/2025, where we set what I considered to be where the director's pay would be, and you went $9,000 over that, which that was generous. And the other package that you offered the guy, I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, in my different positions, hiring people and stuff. Never gave anybody that generous a package, no matter how qualified they are, because if that one turns down the job for the package, and I know what this candidate is making where he's at now. So I know this is very, very generous. not disputing his qualifications and all, but I think the guy would have came over here for $5,000 over what he was making at the other place. And at the end of the day, after all this is said and done, I hope this guy far exceeds everybody's expectation, because we had two very qualified women that did this job well for as long as I've been in this town. That's the shame of the matter, and we're probably in excess of, it cost us, I'd have to say $800,000 to get to this point, and now we're gonna pay this guy more than we ever paid either the women or offered the women. And we're virgin on, I'm starting to become a part-time lawyer because of the freaking laws I look up and all, We've by making this offer, we broke the Equal Rights Amendment Act of 1972, which is a federal law. I believe we've broken the law against discrimination law of New Jersey, which is a state law. And if these women come back at us, look at what we're looking for now. Not disputing this guy's qualifications, just disputing how much we paid for those qualifications and what we had to pay to get to this point. And why I'm on the subject, I know your next step after this guy is to bring in a coordinator, which we don't have any decision about, but I hope that person comes in and far exceeds the expectations of what the past people did. That's all I got to say about that.
All right, I'm ready. I don't have a problem bringing up the past. But we had a woman here that had the job for many years. She came up through the ranks. She was Paula's assistant. When Paula left, they hired another guy from North Jersey that sat at his desk reading the newspaper and playing on the computer. And then he got the door, and that's when Ms. Pittman was awarded Recreation Director, who did a very, very good job. And she was mistreated, abused. It involved a gigantic lawsuit that it was our responsibility as taxpayers in this town to come up with $50,000 to pay for somebody's mistake. And then Ms. Deeds gets the job and did a great job. And we lose her because of the way that she was treated. And both of these girls lived in Pemberton Township, were taxpayers, and did a great, great job. And the problem is, they made a lot less money and less benefits than we're offering Kendall. He doesn't live in the township, lives in Willingboro. I would really like to see some paperwork from the township and all the unions and represents that we have for employees, that why a new employee would be given 4 weeks vacation right out of the gate. Right? 20 paid vacation days, 14 holidays, 15 sick days, and 3 personal days. Now, we don't know this guy from Adam, right? But it's costing a lot more than $97,500 to bring him here. And I think if we would have treated the 2 that we lost that did a great job, it would have been a lot cheaper for our taxpayers. And I'm just wondering, is this another way right here to put a knife in our water carnival? Because he canceled it 2 years in a row. And I don't know if he has something against the water carnival, but that's something that we've had in this town for years. And suppose, this guy says, oh, no, I'm not going to do a water carnival. My personal opinion, everybody has an opinion, but I don't think this is the right guy for our town and the expense that it's going to cost us to bring an outsider in. And the only thing I can say is I'm a no.
Can I? Council President, if I could. Thank you. I just want to kind of piggyback off of what Councilman Harper and Councilman Dewey just said, to a point, and I feel prudent to state this. I think, too, we had a huge loss when we lost Ms. Pittman. We had a ultimate loss when we lost Ms. Deeds. I could personally say that I might get a little emotional, but I think, I'm pretty sure I graduated with Jen. And she was a huge, huge asset for this town from the time she was born to the time that she started serving our township. Always had the best interest in mind for the township. I feel a huge disgrace that we didn't give her an offer, or at least even entertain her as a community development director. She did a lot for this community. I mean, I moved away for 10 years but came back. She stuck it out and had nothing but this township in her heart. And I definitely agree with Mr. Harper. Whoever we bring in, we need somebody to move the township forward in hopefully a positive direction. So it's a big decision for everybody to make tonight. And I hope everybody makes a decision from their heart. But I certainly do, I can't say enough, and I want to personally apologize to Ms. Deeds and Ms. Pittman. And I just want to put that out there for everybody. Thank you.
Council President, if I may. Some of this is going to be an echo of what you've already heard, and some of it I have on my own. I completely concur with what my two guys said to the right of me. I have a hard time giving up a township position when we had somebody here who was so qualified. And let me be clear, Ms. Deeds was in the number 2 slot. She was going to be moved up to the number 1 slot. This gentleman is in Willingboro in the number 2 slot. He has not served in the number 1 slot, but we are moving him up to that slot. He has not proven that he can handle this position yet. Now, I have done my homework. I have made my phone calls. I have a lot of good friends in Willingboro. All speak very, very highly of this gentleman. And I don't go by newspaper articles. I don't go by hearsay. I go directly to the people who work around, with, and for this individual. And of the 7 phone calls that I made, I felt completely confident that I didn't need an 8th because I didn't think I was going to find anything negative about him. With that being said, I think this township, and right now, we do things backwards. I do not believe that a man should be given a $23,000 raise from what he's making now to come here to see if he's good enough to do the job. I have a problem with that. I do. I understand his loyal service to another township, and I can respect that. And I respect the fact he's bringing that many years here. However, this position is a township ordinance-created position that is supposed to go to a resident. If we approve this, gentlemen, we are once again approving a waiver to give up a township job to a non-township resident. I'm sorry, I am a township resident. I was a township employee. I can say wholeheartedly that township employees give more from here. On the streets, they are taking care of their families. They're taking care of their lifelong friends. On the police department, we are protecting our own families if we still live here. We're protecting the friends we grew up with. Bringing somebody in from the outside and he's qualified, again, I don't have a problem with that, but I do think that we do this improperly. I think there should be communication between the 5 of us and administration before any financial offer is made to anybody. I don't like being the bad guy for saying no. I don't like that. And right now, if we vote this gentleman down, he's already been offered. He's sitting at home right now watching this on YouTube with his fingers crossed, praying he's going to get this job. And I don't feel like I'm being put in a comfortable position if I say no. But I also want to know I'm worried about you guys. Now, I'm going to explain why. We have not had a rec director for how long? A long time. How long have we not had a BA? We tried to get involved with administration and offering our assistance. You have 5 guys up here in front of you who have hired, interviewed, and fired employees during their careers. We have that experience. Administration does not. He's been doing it for 2.5 years, and I'm not disrespecting you, sir. Just because you're elected to a position does not make you qualified to fill these positions. I have asked you personally, to come to us, lean on us. I sat in on one interview, please, I'll give you time, I want to hear you respond to me. And I know your response to me is going to be, you don't have to. And you know what? You absolutely do not. But if I'm going to a library and I want to look up something, I'm not just going to look at one book. And if you're going to interview and you have this kind of experience at your disposal, nobody up here wants to be the hero for saying, hire this guy. You can take all the credit you want, sir. But you have this at your disposal, and you choose not to use it. I'm just happy that you weren't in the interview process by yourself. You had someone very qualified in there by Ms. Brown. And if this gentleman is her choice, I 100% respect that of her. But I think we need to get in line, and that offer could have been substantially lower, and I think this gentleman would have jumped all over it. I think there's probably 2-year steps in his raise to get him to where you're already offering him the number you're offering him. And I think we could have brought him in now in August, and he could have proven himself in the next 5 months, and come January 1, if the residents are responding positively to this guy, the employees, which is more important than the residents, are responding and say, this guy knows what he's doing, he deserves it, then I say we can bump him up. But I think the initial offer is over the top. But what I'm most concerned about is you people, and I'm getting back to that now. I'm concerned if we say no, what's next on the chopping block for the services that are provided to our residents, to our seniors, and yes, I can see the headlines, because council said no to administration's request. I don't like being put in that spot, and that's exactly where I'm sitting, and there's nothing that can be said that's going to make me feel any different. I don't like being put back against the wall to make a decision. And in another month say, well, we're cutting senior services. They're not going on their trips. Or this isn't going to happen in town. Or we're going to shut this down because we don't have a rec director to handle it. And who's it going to fall back on? The 5 of us. That's all I have.
Council President, if I may. I hear what you're saying. There was negotiations back and forth on the salary. It's not something that was just thrown out. We did make an offer, they countered, and the normal back and forth happened. What was presented to you tonight was the final salary, what we agreed on. Part of the debate or discussion, negotiation back and forth also included I think it was the vacation days. The gentleman has 20 years civil service time. So we considered the 20 years of civil service when we come up with that. It wasn't just, hey, I think you're a good guy, I'm going to give you this time. I mean, he does have 20 years of civil service experience under his belt. So that's why we gave him the additional time. And my concern is similar to what you said, Mr. Doyle, excuse me. We've had multiple business administrators come in here for whatever reason. We have not been able to fill that position. I'd love to fill a position. We're advertising now. No one wants to come here. No one wants to come here. And if we...
Mr. Alley.
My fear is if we have a fully competent person and your problem is with me and not with the person, and we turn this down, we're not going to get anyone else interested in this position. And if you do turn this down, I got to warn you, we don't have an employee in recreation. We're going to have to not do recreation.
I rest my case.
Mr. Doyle, how do you propose I do it without any employees?
Stop running them out, sir.
Yeah, that's your opinion.
Correct. But sir, here's the thing I have, and what I just heard from you was kind of exactly what I was expecting to hear. while I respect there was negotiation back and forth with that number, I feel like it was monopoly money. It wasn't money that you had the right to offer, because we hadn't approved any number with you. Had we had a couple talks, had you had a couple councilmen in and say, hey, guys, this is somebody we got, here's his qualifications, what kind of money are we looking at?
I believe you yourself said that in the salary ordinance, there's a range. We were within that range. That gives us some latitude to work with when we're making an offer.
But at the top of the range for a man,
I mean, like you said, I am the hiring authority, and I am the one that sets this.
I agree 100% with our approval.
Yeah, that's right, with your approval, 100%. My fear is, like I said, we have an extremely qualified gentleman that will do wonders for this town, and I fear that this is going to slip through our fingers.
And we had 2 qualified people before that were run out of town.
Okay, that point's been made
that's your
already.
opinion.
All right, and
Do we
you
have a
do-
motion?
You do have other people on, that you could talk to. I mean, you showed us 4 resumes, so there's 3 other people that you could go to if this guy's shot down, and perhaps be a little less generous with the taxpayers' money. I don't know, my thoughts.
We have many employees that aren't residents. That's why we gotta get the do we have a motion?
So I will reluctantly make a motion to approve 257, 2025, and hope that I'm making the right decision for the township, because we need somebody in that department.
I'll second.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes.
Mr. Dewey?
No.
Mr. Harper?
No.
Mr. Doyle?
Oh, you're killing me. Yes. I hope you're right, Jack. I hope you're right.
Resolution 258-2025, approval for the appointment of a qualified. Okay, we took a 5-minute recess. Mr. Early, Mr. Early. Mr. Early, you had a question? I'll come down.
I wasn't sure how Josh was going to go. Yes, Millis? Well, I mean, I can understand their points, they want, it's, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Right. And we have to stand for what we think. I mean, he chased. Yep. Yeah, I have no problem with that. That's self-percent. Well, it's
Anybody wants that petition like waiting up here?
Well, that's it. Well, and that's one of the main reasons about hiring somebody from out of town. This job's been held by 2 successful in-town residents. And they did a great job, and unfortunately, Jack chased them out. Jack, lawsuits, and that's, after this, now that this is approved, Jennifer has a legitimate case to come in and file a suit for discrimination, because he told her he would not even consider her for the job. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah, pretty much. Exactly. May turn out in another year and a half that we have a little bit of reform government. That's being discussed. That's why the zoning.
Do you have any real vacations coming up that you can enjoy?
My husband and I are going to Rhode Island for a weekend for a wedding in September. In September, yeah. But,
You're gonna have more lawsuits.
Okay, let's get back to business. Approval for the appointment of a qualified purchasing agent. Discussion?
Who wants to start? Go ahead.
What is wrong with the one that we have? I'd like to know. Because I know we're going to be
Since the
paying.
mayor's not here, we do not have one.
Well, what happened to the one that we had with the shared services?
This year, that township terminated that contract.
She was employed with Stafford, and I think it was Stafford's decision, or somebody on that end's decision, to terminate the shared services agreement.
My feeling is, instead of having a shared service person, this town is big enough where it should have a full-time purchasing agent. Because especially when I look at the bill list and I see, we're back to buying, one department buys the paper here, one paper buys it over here. When Hornicle was here, I said, why don't you buy it by the pallet? And he admitted that he saved over $200 for buying it by the pallet. But we had to use our forklift to get it off the truck and then deliver it to all the different departments. It's just mind-boggling how they waste money. We don't have a revenue problem, we have a spending problem. And the paper is only one thing. It's the same thing with the toners. Now, see, I know that all the printers are the same in the building, right, now?
Correct.
Okay? But again, if you look at the bill list, somebody's buying toner here, somebody's buying toner there. If we had a purchasing agent and used the Don Amici getting the best prices, we could save a lot of money instead of a shared service who cares? It's not our money. And I think it should be a full-time position. It's just mind-boggling when you look at the bill list, the wasted spending. And it would certainly justify to have a full-time person here, that we have control. When you get POs, we got 3 bids. I don't even want to get into it. We need a full-time purchase agency in this building. You're going to pay the part-time $70,000 a year.
No, not $9,000.
$9,000?
$750 a month.
Oh, $750 a month. All right. So we still need a full-time one.
Anything else?
4 weeks vacation, a car, all the benefits.
You got anything else?
I'm done.
I mean, my problem, with this, again, like Danny said, we're paying $9,000 a year, $750 a month. On a month-to-month, it's not a shared service, it's just a, I guess, independent individual. And despite what the resolution says in the front, it does not comply with Ordinance 14-2025, because Ordinance 1425 states a stipend for a QPA in-house, nothing about outside contractors. So, and in-house, we're only willing to pay up to $5,000 a year as a stipend, whereas this is going to $9,000. I believe when we paid Statford to do it, it was $6,000 a year. So, again, I guess it's negotiating skills or what, but, why, it doesn't comply with the ordinance that we approved. It doesn't even exist here, so, and I understand, I mean, I don't know if I'm wrong or not, but we have a person in-house that took the test and is just waiting to know that he passed the test or not.
That result came in, and they did not pass.
Okay, well.
Can they take it again?
I think it's December, January timeframe.
You can take it
6
again in
months?
November.
Okay.
And again, Amy, just to confirm this, again, it's another waiver for the residency requirement?
Oh, yeah.
Who's on here?
This particular appointment is not considered an employee, they're more like a 1099 contractor.
Okay.
So I don't think they have the residency requirement.
It's in here, it's one of the whereases, that's why I'm asking.
like I'm saying, we, you know,
I don't believe I did this.
we state an ordinance, and it actually doesn't fall within that ordinance, you know. We don't have anything that I know addressing hiring somebody outside, you know, not in ordinance 14/2025 anyway. So, I mean, I don't know, you know. I realize, you know, that we need one. I don't necessarily agree with Mr. Dewey that we need a full-time one, but I don't know that we check with Southampton, Pemberton Borough, any of those to see if we could do a shared service with any of them? Jack?
I believe Michelle checked with multiple places, plus we advertised this.
We did.
And this individual, I mean, we sit through the interview, he was extremely qualified. And when he came back with the price that he wanted,
Right.
Michelle's an HR person. She was very excited about that price. And she thought it was a really good one.
I believe the CFO was also consulted on this.
Okay. Yeah, and for the first time in a while, we don't have any township employees here to consult with, so. But I don't know.
And I do believe without a QPA, I could be wrong, but I do believe without a QPA, it's going to impact our spending limits and what we can spend with vendors. So it's going to have a
Well, we
big-
have predetermined spending limits with certain vendors already.
Yeah, but without a QPA, it may change it. And I'm saying may. I know it's going to impact it, I just don't know the extent. I'm not the CFO. She would
Yeah.
know better.
Yeah, I know. It's just another reason that, I think sometimes we should have the township employees here that can answer these questions. I mean, it doesn't have to be all the time, but certainly the CFO has become almost indispensable of late, you know, along with, you know, some of the other department heads. You know, I mean,
If we need that information, Harry, we can always table it.
well, is it going to affect us in the next 2 weeks, Jack?
How long have we gone before with that one?
Well, it's been a month or so now, I think.
History, I'm talking. How long have we gone before with that one?
I don't know.
But Harry, if I could throw something out at you just to think about, the purchase agent could be with this pipe deal, instead of tying up a department head trying to get bids.
Oh, I
It
understand
would be
what
on
you're
that
saying.
person,
Yeah.
you know, paper, toner, asphalt, everything, right?
Yep.
Doing vehicle bids. And I'm just, my personal opinion, it should be a full-time position, and we have control, but
Yeah, I guess perhaps we should consider that for the 26 budget, you know, start thinking about it now, because we don't have anything in the budget for it. We don't even have this in the budget. Yeah,
before
so,
going to meetings.
yeah, yeah. I don't know, I mean, I'm a little concerned. That's all I got to say.
Do we have a motion? I make a motion, we approve Resolution 258, 2025.
I think it should be advertised as a full-time position.
Gentlemen, if there's no second to the motion will die. So there's no specific time period for it, but I think we ought to fish or cut bait, please.
Okay, so it dies. So we're still left without a QPA. Resolution number 259, 2025, appointing Candace Pennywell as Township Representative to the Burlington County Joint Insurance Fund. Discussion?
Is this going to involve a stipend or whatever you want to call it for her to do this job? Extra money?
I don't think so.
Or is this part of her functions?
Who's doing it now?
Nobody.
Right now, Michelle and Anna are doing it.
Well, they do the majority of the work anyway.
Right. They do the JIF, and then they do the like the workman comp claims and stuff like that.
So-
And that's what this is going to be doing, and I did talk to Mr. Dasty about this earlier. It throws out a privacy concern because you're talking employees, dealing with health records and other things. When they're dealing with HR, it's HR, but now we're going to throw the CFO in there that doesn't really know personnel rules and regs.
So that was my next question. If it goes to Ms. Pennywell, does it still have to go through the front office anyway?
I would probably say yes.
So then basically all we're doing is involving another person.
Yeah.
Yeah, but before, I mean, we didn't approve this before because it was for the business administrator, and we
Yes.
didn't have a business administrator, so we set it aside, and then Jeff sent us an email wanting us to appoint someone. So you had the same thing, you had an extra set of hands there before with the business administrator.
My recommendation would be keep it where it has always, the reason it was business administrator is because business administrator
Well-
is over the employees.
Right?
And without the business administrator, right now, HR's been kind of filling in some of that.
Right.
So, right now, on HR time cards and everything else, we have primarily Anna and Michelle doing this.
Yep.
And I shouldn't be saying names, shoot.
Yeah,
So, we do have.
We throw them out there. from time.
We do have two people doing this, and very capable and competent people doing it. I prefer not to bring a third person into this.
So when the BA was here doing it, and correct me if I'm wrong, Michelle and perhaps, Anna were helping him with all the
The
same
other two
stuff they're
employees
doing
were assisting
now.
as needed as
Right.
well.
So it's technically not going to change. It's just going to be a person
Well,
kind
you're,
of over that and
you're giving a third person access to personnel records
outside of
that you might
admin.
not want to.
Well, how did her name come up on the,
I don't know where this came
Resolution.
from.
I'll tell you, I recommended putting her name on there because in the chain of command, she would be the next logical person since we don't have a business administrator. So, I recommended this.
I would prefer to see Anna as the primary and then Michelle as the secondary, and not do this resolution the way it is right now.
I recommend we table Resolution 259, 2025 till we get the right names on it. And the right people.
I'll second.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Abstain.
Mr. Doyle?
No.
Mr. Harper?
No. So now what?
Well, this motion was to table the resolution.
Table.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Right.
All right.
What do you want to do?
Then-
So
then-
Jerry, I'd like to make a motion to basically deny 259, 2025.
I'll second.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
No.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes. Ordinances for second reading, public hearing, and/or adoption. Ordinance number 21, 2025, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 3 of the Township Code entitled Administration of Government to modify Chapter 3, Article 8, Section 3-30, entitled Zoning Board of Adjustment. Public comment?
I'll make a public comment. James Boland, up again. I wanted to point out that let's put it this way. Most of the seats on the zoning board will not be expired until after there's been an election for mayor and an election for 2 council members. So were this to become effective, it would involve the current council body and the current mayor for a minority of the zoning board members, whereas the majority would be affected by whoever is filling those 2 council seats and the mayor's seat at that time. So I just wanted to point out that this would potentially affect people who are not here now, and be affected by people who are not here now. So,
I'm sorry, last, people what? Who would?
so it would potentially affect people who are not here right now, not on the board right now, or I'm sorry, not on, it would, let me get this right. It would involve decisions, that's a better way of putting it, made by potentially 2 council members who may not be here, or may not, who are here now but may not be here then, and a mayor who is here now but may not be here then for most of the decisions made going forward. So I wanted to point that out, and I also wanted to point out that as it is right now, with a mayor appointing a member, council still does vote on that appointment. So I just want to make those distinctions and make another distinction. I'm just gathering my thoughts here. Yes, the other distinction is just basically that this is something that would have one effect temporarily and have another effect for years to come. So that said, I'm not even here to ask for an explanation. I'm not even here to ask for a reason why this is being brought up. But I'm just asking council to consider the points that I brought up as far as how this will affect the future. And that's all I'm asking. Thank you.
Good evening, gentlemen, residents. I definitely understood what he was saying, but I want to bring something on the tail end of what he's saying. So my name is Mildred Tuches, and I am a resident of Pemberton Township. I live at 23 Leland Street. And I do want to express my concern regarding this ordinance. And please humor me, because I wasn't here at the last meeting. I was away, and I know it was read the first time then. But it's just an observation. It's just a concern. So, because the change is a proposal, in a sense, to remove the mayor's role in the appointment of members in the zoning board of adjustment. But it's not just a partisan issue, it's a governance issue. And that's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about the checks and balances and the collaborative leadership that we all want, right? Because we all want to work together with the mayor. And for public accountability. So this is what I'm going to say. The zoning board, as we know, holds significant power over the land use and the development and business growth and community character, all those things. The decisions that impact every resident, from what gets built to where and how it affects traffic, noise, property values, and even safety. And in my opinion, my observation, I'm concerned by giving sole authority to the Township Council to appoint all 7 members and alternatives, removing the oversight of the mayor. And I agree with what the gentleman that just spoke said. This affects the future, because he's not going to be mayor forever. We're going to have other mayors. And the shift in authority, it may appear small right now on paper, but it changes everything, right? Because it's a loss of executive oversight, right? The mayor represents the executive branch. Removing his input or her input, whoever it might be, it weakens the balance between the branches of government. It weakens the collaborative unity that we're striving to have, right? Because we all want that unity. We all want to work together. And it weakens public trust because our residents expect transparency, diversity of thought, right? And a balance in our governing process. Now, right now, I know we're under the Faulkner Act and we're under the strong mayor council, but I feel like this potentially undermines that because it would be just the council making the decision. Not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with you guys. I love you guys. You're doing a great job so far. But that's my concern, is the long term, what's going to happen in the future. Are we going to change the way that we do governance here in Pemberton Township? I don't know. Has it been discussed? Probably. But instead of removing the mayor's voice, let's embrace collaboration. Let's build zoning boards that reflect the best of our township, not just one chamber's viewpoint, because we need multiple perspectives at the table to guard against conflicts of interest, ensure long-term strategic planning. Listen, we've had a history. We can look back at what we experienced with the last council and years before that. It was a pissing match between the Democrats and the Republicans, and we can't have that anymore. Okay? We need to come together. We need to understand that diversity of our community needs to be embraced, and it can only happen if we have everyone's input, not just one group. That's all I want to say. So I respectfully urge you to vote no on this ordinance, or at the very least, revisit the language to include shared appointment power, whether that's mayoral nomination with council confirmation or another collaborative structure. But I encourage us to really look at this and maybe come up with some different language. And that's what I'm going to say. Thank you.
Millie, can I ask you some questions before you're done? Sure. Cool, man. And can I call you Millie because I feel?
Of course. I'd prefer it.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
My first question would be, because I'm having a hard time with this one as well, and I've stated that before, right? My question is, and it has been discussed, and it's been discussed publicly up on this body about changing our form of government, to whether or not, to what extent, whether it's the township form or a weak Mayor Faulkner Act, which both, I think the township form we used before, and there's probably some people in the room that can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what we were under. What was it?
Strong mayor council.
Committee? Yeah, but back then it was a committee, you're right, yeah. So in that form of government, right, ultimately, council holds all the power to make those appointments. So looking down the road, depending on what the community decides, if that does come up for, a vote at the ballot box, right, which it quite possibly can. Yeah. What does that change in hindsight to what Mr. Bowen said, which is very smart, and James, I agree with you as well. And these are the things that I've been going back and forth in my head for the past 2 weeks, right, is ultimately where does the power kind of lie, where should it lie? And I agree with you. There's I won't get into details, Millie, or turn it into a back and forth match with other people in the room. But even when I sat where Matt is, I tried to negotiate, and I tried to come to terms and agreements on more than several different topics with administration. And I was told absolutely no. And that's not a lie, that's the truth. So, where I think everybody up here on the council has tried to collaborate in some sort of way with administration, both present and past, it's always been, council that has been basically shot down. And that's unfortunate, right? Because there's no check and balance for that on that side of things. So looking at it from a constitutional standpoint, as opposed to what is the question I always ask. Not having anybody, which we almost didn't have, thankfully until, Mr. Bowen was approved. Because some sort of, one way or the other, it's not a good situation. And then one committee looks bad as opposed to the other, These are moral dilemmas that we're faced with up here on council. Several times, even the next one coming up, is something I proposed last year and was told absolutely not. No, no, no. The Agriculture Advisory Committee, no, no. Right, Dan?
I'm going to be asking questions about that too. Why now?
Right.
Why now?
So it's a difficult decision, and I don't think council's trying to usurp the powers that is given to them. I think we're working within the guidelines of the powers that we can do to make positive change and bring positive change to the township. And I think everybody up here has the same intentions in mind.
I believe that.
But Mr. Bowen brings up a good point, is, it's pretty much like a lame duck kind of approval, James, right? Like, if you do it, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's interesting, right? And I hope the rest of council kind of takes that into consideration and understands that. Either way, it doesn't hurt, it just doesn't help the situation that we're currently in. But if the type of government is changed within the township, and we do go to a township form of government, then the mayor pretty much dissolves into the council that you see up here. And they're appointed, annually, right, at the reorg meeting. So you could argue semantics with different types and forms of government within the state of New Jersey, which one's better than the other. They're all horrible, in my opinion. It's just, I shouldn't say that. I should say that there's different checks and balances between each individual form of government that I have studied over the past 2 years that have their faults in regards to, applying those checks and balances fairly, and who has what powers. I mean, me and Danny tried to, nominate people to the AAC, which was the first board that was vetoed by the mayor and then approved bipartisanly. And for no reason at all. No reason. I mean, we were just trying to help the farmers, and it was seen as a sword or some kind of weapon. But it's not trying to weaponize anything, I don't think. It's just trying to make the right decisions for the township.
Sure. And I totally believe that. I guess the deepest desire in my heart, and what I don't want to see, is that anybody's role is defined by what's happening right now, by the situation that we're in right now, whether it's your role or the mayor's role, because it's not always going to be this way. I pray. Things will change, things will get better. But I thank you for your time.
Pat Guthrie, 317 Birmingham Road. The way I'm reading this ordinance, and I think it's a good thing, and I think it should get voted through, kind of like you guys were emphasizing before, when these jobs open up with the township, there's more of you to do your research, your homework. It's actually taking, if he would utilize that strength that our council has to help him do these interviews, it would take a load off of the mayor. Plus, it would include all the education and knowledge of the council. Currently, with the mayor making the choices, the council still looks at it and has to say yay or nay. In this situation, and tell me if I'm wrong, the council then does their homework, looks to see who they believe is qualified, puts together who they think should be assigned, but in any case, if the mayor's not happy with it, he still has the opportunity to veto it. Am I wrong in saying that?
If this ordinance is adopted, the council then would make the appointments to the zoning board. Those appointments could not be voided by the mayor.
Okay, so this is taking total 100% away from, like, the mayor's choice, too?
For the appointments of members of the zoning board, new members. Yes.
So is there some way to even incorporate within here that it would be a joint effort between the council and the member of the choices? Does it have to be either or?
Well, Jerry, let me ask you this. Is this similar to what we're dealing with the department heads? I mean, the mayor would still pretty much be making the request for this as an appointment, and we'd be approving it, no? No, now we don't. Correct. That's what
No,
we're
you
changing
do.
it to.
You do have consent.
I'm not sure what you mean by that, I'm
With-
sorry.
Council President, with
Yeah, we still
the,
have to,
yeah, with the current appointments, it's just like Mr. Boland, forgive me, James, since you're sitting here. The first time I appointed Mr. Boland, I couldn't get the votes off the council to give.
Jack, I
consent.
apologize. That was my mistake. I'm mixing it up with the planning board. My apologies.
Yeah, the planning board's strictly me. But with the zoning, I have to have consent from a majority of the council or it doesn't pass. And I have had people that I wanted to put on the zoning board.
I actually recall that.
Get
I've been
disapproved.
to the meetings and I've seen where the council shot it down. So, I mean, if this is going to be rewritten, I think it should also include the mayor's choice. Because, I mean, honestly, like it was being emphasized earlier, it's not always going to be, this is our group, okay? Let's say Dewey becomes mayor, okay? And then all of a sudden, we have a whole bunch of people that really aren't looking out for the township that are on the council. I think that, you know, I know how much Dewey loves this town. I know how much he'd do anything for this town. He lives and breathes Pemberton Township. And if he was sitting right there and a bad choice was being made by the council, the way this is written, he'd have to accept it and have no say in the matter. So I think this should actually be addended to whereas, I mean, I honestly thought that if the council passed an ordinance, that it could be vetoed by the mayor. But if that's not the case, then I think that we should incorporate the mayor in this decision-making. See, that's what I thought.
No, no,
I
I'm sorry.
mean,
No,
I see you
thought you
shaking
meant.
your head, and I'm like
I thought you
thinking,
meant, excuse me, Ms. Guthrie, I thought you meant, could the mayor veto an appointment? No, he could not if this ordinance goes through. He can veto the ordinance.
okay, so if this ordinance goes through, the council chooses the zoning board, and the mayor has no say in who those appointees are.
That's correct.
Okay, so I do think this should be rewritten then to also include the mayor's decision, because we're not going to have the same whole team that we have right now. And, you know, to cut the mayor out of the picture, I think that would just be wrong.
Still got public comment.
Yeah, and I want to say something. I know it breaks your heart.
As much as I hate to say it, because that means I'm speaking on behalf of somebody I don't want to speak on, I agree with, I always forget your name, I'm sorry, hon. I agree with her, that it probably should be written to appoint by a majority vote of the township council and the mayor combined. So, I mean, it would wind up being 6 to, you know, that the 6 of you have to take and decide. I mean, I don't like that the planning board is only decided by him. You know, I think that all of those boards should be approved by everybody, not just one person. So with this, you guys, I understand the reasoning for this, totally get it, and in my heart, I want to say, yeah. But I know that running in this particular situation, there does need to be a, sorry, I'm not very eloquent tonight. There does need to be a check and balance there. You know, like, who is going to appoint these people? Who's going to, you know, who's going to nominate them? You know, stuff like that. Is it just going to come from you guys, or is he going to have a say in nominations, and then you guys all vote on the appointments? You know, I think that it does need to be all of you, not just one. But I believe that's the same way as the planning board. The planning board should be all of you, not just one.
Okay. When I first got elected, I think they were 2 members short on the zoning board. When I first got elected, I think there was 2 people short on the zoning board. And one of the gentlemen that was on the zoning board, he had been on it previously for quite a few years. and he left and he came back as a member. And then there was somebody appointed, so instead of being an alternate, he went right to the top. So after it was all over with, the guy that had the most experience and knows the town leaves because he was jumped over. All your problems in your town start with the zoning board. You know, if somebody wants to come in and clear cut 1,000 acres to build warehouses and developments, it has to go from council, zoning board, planning board. Now, let's go to the planning board real fast. Mr. Border, I don't know how many years he was the chairman of the planning board. You know when he found out that he lost his chairmanship? The night of reorganization, when he came in here with his wife and his name plaque was gone and somebody else is there. He never got a plaque, an award, or anything. He found out he was terminated when he came in for reorganization. So when you have one person, it's called stacking the deck. When you put your friends, family, and all that on a board, and you're in charge, you got a little bit of an influence. And it shouldn't be that way. I think anybody that wants to apply for the zoning board should fill out an application with your qualifications, be presented to the council before a friend of the family or whatever gets appointed to the job, because it's a serious job and it's got to be done right the first time. And you're very easily, you can be compromised, and I just think it should, you know, you got to take the job serious because it affects the entire town. And I think the way things have happened, I think we're more qualified to pick the person. Because we have no influence on saying, hey, I got this deal cooking, I really need a yes vote for the zoning. That's my opinion. Thank you.
We have a motion?
Make a motion to approve ordinance 21-2025.
I'll second.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
No.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes. Ordinance number 22, 2025, an ordinance of the Township of Pemberton County of Burlington, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 3 entitled Administration of Government to include new Part 5, Article 28, entitled Redevelopment Agency. Public comments?
Marie Reynolds, I don't want to load on to everything that's happened here tonight, because I feel like I already blew it on one comment, not knowing the contract that was behind it. But this is a really important one to me. And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Dasty, there are like 3 levels of redevelopment, right? So there's a state law on redevelopment, right? And then we have our redevelopment plan, which is our law, and then this would be in addition to that, right?
Well, the purpose of this ordinance is to create what I would consider an advisory board.
Right.
And the agency would then make recommendations to the governing body as
Yes.
to whether an area should be considered
Right.
in need of redevelopment.
Right.
That-
And more importantly, what I'm reading here is that they would also assist in the function of selecting a redeveloper, right?
Yes,
Because our plan right now leaves that solely up to the mayor. Negotiation of redevelopment agreement in our 2018 plan, redevelopment plan, is the mayor of Pemberton Township shall be responsible in negotiating the terms and conditions of each redeveloper agreement. So, I mean, CELDAT, Sycamore Hall, how's that worked out for us? I really appreciate this movement towards more focus, because we do have a lot of areas for redevelopment. So I think that that's really important, that we have more people involved in it. And even with the other issue that was so huge tonight, we can't do any more backroom deals. We don't have room for any more backroom deals here. We've blown every one that's been made. It has impacted us negatively. Every single one that was made has impacted us, and so I'm really in favor of this. But what I will say is that it sort of does not seem to address the fitness of the redeveloper. It doesn't seem to, and none of them seem to, as far as I can read, in terms of vetting them, in terms of vetting the redevelopers. I haven't seen anything that says that they must have, that whoever is screening them must screen them for not only their financial ability to complete the redevelopment plan, also their history. Somebody can just come in here and say, okay, I'm going to put a beer garden there, and I know somebody that drinks beer, so I'm going to do a beer garden. But they don't have any experience. What experience do you have in creating what you're proposing as your redevelopment plan? We can't even get them to fix the roof or pay the taxes or, so where did the fitness for that redeveloper go? And Seldath the same way. I mean, I don't know if he's still in jail, but, we really suck at this point. So this and maybe more is needed. But thank you.
Thank you. Council President, can I ask a question? Since this is dealing with planning and zoning essentially, should we have sent this to planning and zoning for them to review and have an input on this?
Whether you should have is one thing. Is it required to be done? No. This is not an amendment to a zoning ordinance, which would normally be required to go to.
I'm not an expert, that's why I asked the question.
Pat Guthrie, me again. Question. It brings up the NJSA 40A12A-3 in this ordinance. Prior to passing this the way we are right now, do we still fall under that as far as the New Jersey statutes?
You have to comply with, certainly have to comply with the statutes.
Well, we've had lots of redevelopment plans here in Pemberton Township, and I've followed them, most of them, very closely, especially the ones that were
I'm not
directed
sure,
towards me.
maybe I misunderstood your question, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm reading this 40A-12.
That's the
in just
redevelopment law.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
According to
redevelopment.
this, for every redevelopment, there's supposed to be a committee put together where they have a commissioner, and the commissioner shall be appointed by the governing body. There's terms that they'll serve a term of 5 years.
Ms. Guthrie, that's what we're doing, right? That's what the ordinance
Okay,
is doing.
were we supposed to be following this back with all these other redevelopment plans?
You didn't have to, but the statute, the New Jersey statute allows towns to do what this ordinance says. It's not required.
So we did not follow this New Jersey law before. We just kind of said, hey, this is a good area to redevelop. Let's create a in need of redevelopment and start doing its thing.
If that's, I think it might be a rhetorical question.
Okay, I mean, I thought that this was being that it's a New Jersey law and it's the first time actually sitting down and reading it. If we had to follow this back when they were doing all those redevelopment plans, all those redevelopment plans were not done accordance to this New Jersey statute.
Correct.
Right. Can I answer you, Ms. Guthrie? I just want to answer, so, you know as well as I do, I studied this stuff completely in depth. So that is correct. It's rhetorical, yes, okay. Number two, the answer that was given to me by the previous business administrator, and one of the reasons why we weren't allowed to adopt this previously, or I was at least told no, was because the business administrator, and Mr. Dasty is correct, along with the community development director, were supposed to take the place of this committee, right? So we don't have a business administrator anymore. So all falls on community development at that point in time. And then this committee is formed, Mr. Dasty is correct, to kind of take care of that. If we had a business administrator that worked with a community development department director, we might not necessarily need this. And it's not a necessary thing that you have to adopt or have to follow it, but it's a recommendation that you do follow it.
I mean, it does look very good that, I mean, includes the involvement of, the residents and, creating this committee and assigning positions. The commissioner appointed by, where is it? I mean, it looks like there's going to be, like, you'd have to hire people, too.
No, there's all voluntary. No one gets paid for that. Is that
Says
what
the
you-
agency may call upon the township attorney or may employ its own counsel and staff for such legal services as may required.
Not must.
Well, first of all, it says may, and secondly, on redevelopment mechanisms now, the town pays, or maybe they try to get the developer to pay, but there are payments made through the township for an engineer, an attorney, and whatever else is the same. Nothing different about that.
Okay, so this is not where it's going to cost the township, where they're going to have to appoint a commissioner, like any commissioner appointed by the mayor or the council shall
They're
be
just
residents
titles.
of the township.
They're
All
just
of that
titles.
stuff is
It's like
just,
any other committee we formed, same thing, it's all volunteers.
okay. So that was just my last question. Is it going to cost us anything to do all of this stuff?
Actually, you're going to save a lot of money for the simple reason the controller that we used to have was the controller, a developer, and a real estate tycoon, all wrapped in one, okay?
I mean,
If you saw, if you knew the deals that were made prior to us getting voted in, and I know, Jerry, you can jump in and explain, like, everybody's really up on this shopping center, which I hope it gets done. But if you knew the facts in the background of how much money that we have invested in that property and what our head guy sold the property for, your head would spin off your shoulders.
yeah, I kind of heard the numbers, and it's, even when it comes to the
right?
Yellow Bank,
But, you
it's
know, and I told
nauseating.
him to his face, I said, you should get out of the real estate business because you don't have a clue what you're doing. But the damage has already been done. There's nothing, you cannot unring a bell. And when we get this committee, when these people walk in, like the Yellow Bank, the first thing we're going to request is a financial statement filled out. We're going to know who they are, what they owe, how much money they got before we even waste our time dealing with them. That deal should have never been done. We sold it for the exact same price that we borrowed the money for 10 years prior, $250,000, paid interest on it for 8 or 9 years and sold it for the same price. This is the deals that the prior people in this building did.
I mean, I do
They
think
had
this
no
is,
business even getting involved in real estate.
Danny, I do think this is a good thing. I was just reading that New Jersey law, and like even in there, it's kind of misleading because it says, the agency shall select a chairman and a vice chairman from amongst the commissioners, and it shall employ an executive director who shall be its secretary. So, when you hear the word employ, it makes it sound like, oh geez, are we gonna have to hire and pay someone to be part of this
I mean,
committee?
the planning board has a secretary, the zoning board has a secretary. I suspect, if it's like a lot of towns, it's probably an employee here who gets paid a stipend to go to the meetings and type up the minutes. I don't know specifically, why don't we just give it some time? The council, I could write a book. Councilman Dewey's correct about a lot of the agreements that have been signed
And most of them
in
were
this
verbal.
town over the last 10 years.
And I kind of understand all of that too, and it is kind of nauseating, like even what I've seen happen in Birmingham. But, I mean, it sounds good. It sounds like it even incorporates the residents as far as in its
Very much
decision-making.
so.
So, I just know that we can't afford to hire any more, like, people to come in and pay thousands of dollars to, just make decisions for the people.
Patty, if the right people were in office, you wouldn't be staring at a warehouse going to your house.
I understand that completely, Mr. Dewey.
Another lost farm.
All right, do we have a motion? Oh,
Jump up faster, James.
Hello, James Bullen. I got some comments on this one. I'm definitely getting the impression tonight that the impetus behind this is to get rid of the backroom deals, or at least try to thwart the backroom deals. And of course, I agree with that. I definitely, spoke out a lot during the previous administration against a lot of the things that were being done that were just wrong. But the thing is, while I do get that impression here tonight, I didn't exactly get that same impression when I read this. And what I did was, when I did read it, I wrote down some things that I thought maybe could be clarified in this. Because tying into what I had said earlier and what other residents had said tonight, we understand the intent right now with everyone who's currently here and in the decision-making. But the people who make the decisions in the future might not interpret it the same way. So what I wrote down are questions like how many members would be on this agency? Okay, all right, so I apologize if I did miss that. Another thing that I saw in there, and while I do understand tonight that we are talking about volunteers, right. It does talk about a budget. And so what I didn't see was, could that budget be misused for property acquisition?
This is an
Which
advisory.
is the last thing we want.
This is an advisory group.
Right.
Any decisions about adopting agreements, spending money, that would all be as it is now, it would be made by the elected officials, the council.
Right, and I do understand that now.
Oh, okay.
Another question that I have written down here is, would this agency, this advisory committee, be meeting in public? Would the meetings be open they would
Yes.
be open to the public?
Just like any
Okay,
other committee we have, it's always open to the public.
okay. And then,
Which is a better situation than has existed in the past.
oh, of
Because-
course.
Oh, there you go.
Of course. Anytime you have a layer that insulates the people from the developers who might not represent the best interest of the town, of course it's a good thing. And I just want to point out that I don't see anything in it about qualifications. Now, I don't know what the qualifications would be for members of this committee, but, the subject of qualifications did come up. So I'm just going to ask council that you do think about these things. And while there are some things that I'm sure I missed, some of the questions I came up with are probably answered in this ordinance as I read it quickly and missed those answers. Any of the answers that I did get tonight, that the other members of the public did get tonight, if any of those answers are not in the ordinance, I'm going to suggest that they somehow be put into the ordinance, because I think they should be preserved for posterity, so that like I said earlier, any of the decision makers of the future would not have any chance to misuse this.
You had a question, or you mentioned something about qualifications.
Yes.
There are no qualification requirements in the statute for this, there aren't any for the zoning board.
Correct.
Or the planning board. Or the
Volunteers.
Board of Health, or what, et cetera, et cetera. I think that in all of those circumstances, there is confidence in the appointing authority that they know who they're appointing to these various positions. So,
And that's what we depend on as residents, that elected officials have that confidence
well,
and
that's
use
the
it wisely.
reason there's nothing specific in an ordinance as to what, this ordinance as to what their qualifications.
Right, okay, I appreciate
Can
that.
James, if I could say something to
Sure.
you. Now, this is in the early stages, we're trying to put this together. But I can guarantee you, when we get this committee, and we're reviewing somebody that wants to knock trees down to build something in this town, there's gonna be cost involved. And we're gonna have, hopefully, Jerry here for a long time. And if we have a question, we have to consult with him. When it's all over with, whatever monies that we spent between attorneys, planners, or whatever, the developer's getting a bill. And it's gonna be against his escrow. So it's not gonna cost us money because we're gonna recoup the money.
Well,
As long as we're here.
Thank you, I
If
yes.
after we're gone, it'll probably go back to a free-for-all.
Well, could it be worded, could there be language put in there so that it always comes from the developer? Because I know in the past, it didn't always, for sure.
Exactly. We got developers lined up right now, that don't even have a penny in escrow.
Council President, if I could, going on what Mr. Boland just said, I do have a question. You were asking about qualifications and stuff. This is township redevelopment or development, and it doesn't say anything in here. I would prefer to have that specified specifically, that members of this committee or commission or whatever you want to call it are required to be township residents. I mean, this is affecting the township. They should be residents.
Yeah.
But that's not in here. I didn't see it. And if I can add one more thing that I have an issue with, I'm sorry I'm stepping on your time, Mr.
It's all right,
Boland.
that's totally okay.
But when I look at this, when I go to the very last page, 5-141, oh no, excuse me, 5-144 powers. Item G is arrange for the sale and lease of township vacant lands to businesses whose location therein is best calculated in the judgment of the redevelopment agency to advance the interests of the township and its citizens. When it comes to the management of property in the township, that solely lays under the mayor under the Faulkner Act. So I feel this could be interpreted as a usurping of authority there.
I disagree with you, Mayor, that's lifted right out of the statute. That's exactly what the statute says.
And
We'll disagree.
as far as membership
What do you
terms.
disagree with? That's exactly what the statute says. Word for word. I mean, what's to disagree with?
The Faulkner Act says the mayor is the only one that can sell or do anything with property, and this is saying just the contrary to that. It appears to be giving authority to this committee to do that.
Sir, under the present form of government, this council approves contracts. Right?
Yeah.
Yes, they do approve contracts, but they're not the ones signing the leases and the deeds. And the way I interpret this, it gives this committee the authority to sign deeds and leases.
No, you're incredibly misunderstanding the ordinance.
Yeah, and as far as, it does state in here that any commissioner appointed by the mayor or the council shall be a resident of the township at the time of appointment. Yep.
This is just an advisory committee.
Yes.
Yeah.
They have no powers to enter into any contracts or engage in anything without us. They are coming to us and giving us.
As, with recommendations, yeah.
That's it.
That's all it is.
They have no signing powers whatsoever.
All of them shall
It's
be
like any other
granted.
committee we have.
Well, I just want to conclude my comments by saying that I'm definitely all for anything that engages the residents and, and I guess, makes it public, more public than what we already have, where people can be more in the know about what developers are trying to do and the whole process, so that people can be more aware and have more of a say, and that the decisions end up reflecting input from the public more than input from developers. Thank you.
All right, we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 22, 2025.
I'll second.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Absolutely, yes.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes. Ordinance number 23, 2025, capital ordinance providing for various general capital improvements by and in the county of Burlington, state of New Jersey, and appropriating $440,000 therefore from grant funding and capital improvement fund of the township. Public comments?
I'm so sorry to come up twice in a row like this.
When do you get a chair?
James Bolin again. I don't really have comments, but I have some questions. So this is an area that either involves or is right next to some county roads. So I'm a little confused as to the township's role, or if the county also has a role in it. But, so I'm wondering how that might come into play. But my biggest question is, because I didn't see it when I read it quickly, is what might residents expect to see as a result of this?
It's for redevelopment, downtown redevelopment.
But do we,
So, it's for any capital improvements that we plan on doing in the downtown area.
so is this setting things up for future developers?
No.
Well,
This is stuff that,
For the new or the new shopping center, they have to reroute some water lines to supply the shopping center. There's already water there, but it's not big enough to handle everything that's coming.
So is the developer going to bear any of this cost?
That's a great question. I know we're doing our landscaping, right?
No.
We're not doing the landscaping now?
I mean, I believe, most of this is for probably, aesthetic reasons in the town, to help beautify the town.
so I'll give you an example.
Go ahead.
So the Economic and Business Development Committee has a plan to work on the streetscaping down by the dam, right?
Right.
Put with new lights, and a new bench, new garbage cans. So projects like that we'll use these funds for.
I see. So it's for the, it's for the walking route and for the
That's
aesthetics of the
possibly an
town.
example of what we're to use some of this.
Right.
Mr. Bolin, one example, if I may, one example where they did this in the past was in front of CVS.
Right, okay.
So they redid the sidewalks there, they put that little park there with the flagpole and stuff, and across the street, they did the cobblestone sidewalks from in front of Burger King all the way up to the church, I believe. That's what this is going to do, I believe, from what I understand.
So this would be something for us that we can see?
Yeah.
Right,
You can see and enjoy, it'll make it safer, too.
sure. All right.
And
Well, thank you.
James, for everybody's
Yes.
reference, not to cut, so if you wanted to even see something, which I hope that this grant, whoever's divvying out this grant takes a look at, 2019, the Complete Streets Program for Pemberton Township, which is on the website, lays out what the drafts and drawings were perceived to be. And hopefully that money is used to do those projects, which I'm sure it is. So,
Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Come to the next Economic and Business Development Committee meeting, and you could speak to Marie and the rest of the committee, and they can explain what their ideas are.
Would that be on the township calendar?
It is. It's on the township website.
Right. On the calendar that's on the website, though?
No, it's not on the calendar.
Because
But-
I'm
but
very
there is
calendar
a-
oriented.
There is a, on the page, if you look under government organizations, you'll find it.
Okay, I'll make
I
a
think
note of
it's
that.
the second Wednesday?
Yeah,
Second Wednesday, 5 p.m.
5 p.m.
I should know these things.
Okay, writing that down. Thank you very much.
All right, motion?
Make a motion to approve ordinance 23-2025.
I'll second.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes. Ordinance number 24, 2025, an ordinance establishing 2025 salary for Candace Pennywell, Chief Financial Officer, effective July 1st, 2025. Public comments? Discussions to council? Motion?
Make a motion to approve 24-2025.
I'll second.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes. All right. Ordinances for introduction. Ordinance number 25, 2025, an ordinance establishing 2025 salaries and wages for certain employees of the Township of Pemberton effective January 1st, 2025.
Before we go any further, Amy, what's the date on the next meeting?
September 3rd?
The third is the first.
Third. Thank you.
September 3rd.
We have a motion?
Make a motion to approve ordinance, or introduce ordinance 2025-2025 to be second reading September 3rd.
Second.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes. Ordinance number 26, 2025, bond ordinance providing for various 2025 water utility improvements by and in the Township of Pemberton in the County of Burlington, State of New Jersey, appropriating $1,991,980. Therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,892,381 bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof.
Council President, can I make a statement before we vote on this, if possible? Okay. So, sorry to hold things up. But I was asked from several different people why I voted this down at the last meeting, including the Doug, hopefully you're listening, at the Pine Barrens Tribune, who tried to get in touch with me for a comment. But I told him I'd give him comment tonight. So this is why I believe this is a bad idea, okay? We bonded over the past 2 years, 2023 and 2024, $1.5 million for the same project. I voted no both times, and I was complimented by my vote by other members of council. Council was told at that point in time, in 2024, that the 1.5 would be enough for the project. So I asked questions about this and stated those questions on October 11th of 2024 to our acting clerk at the time. And these were the questions I had asked. Why did ARH receive $522,000 from the total, which was almost 40% of the funding? The second question I asked was that funding included almost $10,000 for 6 well tests at Helen Fort Middle School over a period of 1 year. Now, when our taxes went up by 9% every year, are we going to get that money back? I highly doubt it. Okay. Funding was also included, $11,000 worth of test well development of an unspecified site 5 times over in the same year. Now, thanks to Mr. Dasty, we're going to get that money back because those are the test wells on the K. Havenia project. I asked the acting administrator last October and the mayor for an explanation. So I'm going to ask again. Those 3 questions, can you please answer?
Can you email them to me so I can go through finance and
Okay.
get the answers?
All right, no problem. So what I'll do is, just so if everybody wants to see it, here's the email from the clerk, and I'll have it after the meeting, that I asked for, which is dated October 11th, 2024. Through an email from ARH, the total completed project is going to be about $3 million on the west side of town, which looks like a majority of the cost would be funded through something, Pineland something or other. My question is, again, what's the real end goal of the project? And we all know what it is. And if you don't, I'm going to throw my 2 cents in right now. Also, why isn't funding for water being invested into other communities in our township that are complaining about their water quality? We've had several different complaints from people around Mirror Lake this year. And at a final cost, if it is close to $4 million, which is what's going to be spent, what's the township's return on investment over the next 5 years? We know that $4 million isn't going to be close to the end of this project. As I stated last year in October, the cost will probably come up to more than double when it's all said and done for the west side of town. Just to bring enough water pressure around to the intersection of Route 530 and Hanover Street in order to potentially meter into the borough to provide additional water to the property that's being developed over on North Pemberton Road. And I can tell you right now, I'm not going to say who I spoke to, but the township's going to waste probably close to $4 million because the borough people that I've talked to said that that will never, ever happen. And I tend to believe them because with a town of only about 937 people, okay, their area doesn't change all that much. 10 years, 10 years, and 10 years. However, the deal was made with the developer. I said it was a bad one before. We took 20 years. We gave the borough, basically, we're giving the borough 20 years before we could even sit there and renegotiate a contract or they can negotiate a contract. They get the water, they get the cost for 20 years. We're all going to be gone probably, knock on wood, in the next 20 years. So this is why I'm voting no, again, on this project. And there was a comment made, I will state at the last meeting, I am looking out for the community on all edges of the township. So that's why I will be voting no again. Thank you.
Josh, can I ask you a question, buddy?
Yes, sir.
How long ago did they do the water in your development?
That was our first year, Danny, 2023.
Okay, and that's completed. And
Nope, it's not completed yet.
I mean, the water lines are in.
No, not all of them.
No?
No.
Have they blacktopped your road yet?
No, and I quite honestly don't care about the blacktopping of the road. They just started Hughes, and they finished Hughes this week. But that's blacktopping, right? That's not water improvements, that's blacktopping.
Yeah, but I'm talking about you're living on a mud road now.
Pretty much, for the most part.
So my question, Jack, is,
I'm going to argue that fact. I drove down.
Let's argue.
The Councilman's Road a couple days ago. And granted, it's not a pristine road because they did dig it up. They filled in where the holes were. And then they put asphalt over that.
No, they didn't, not on the
No.
close side of Bidziansky, they didn't. They didn't top that yet.
When I was over there, it looked like it was, both sides were topped.
I'll take a picture and I'll text it to you tomorrow on my way to work. Okay?
see, my question is, that was a smoke and mirrors deal with one of our former employees saying, because I asked, why would you go to a development where everybody has well water and run city water?
55% of the west end of town is on well.
Yes. And the question was, oh, we want to supply water. That wasn't the answer, because he had already made a deal with the developer at Greenberg Farm, and they had to go through Roto, so they were going to make everybody hook into city water, which we stopped.
And how many times did we vote no on that before you conceded and said, oh, we're not going to charge anybody?
But my question is, all the roads that they tore up in Roto Village to put that water line in, those roads should have been repaved the minute they were done, and they're still not paved.
And we still don't have stormwater management in that area, which has curbs.
Yeah. Putting the cart in front of the horse again. And it was a smoke and mirror deal to get water to Greenberg's. And it just drives you crazy the way that we do stuff in this town. When they tore the residents' roads up, they should have been repaved the minute the pipe was laid.
It will cost
they're still
everybody
not
$8
done.
million by the time this water project is done, and all you're going to get out of it is more sprawl. So if Birmingham wants more sprawl, if Route 38 wants more sprawl, or 530, or whatever you want to call it, or if you want more sprawl on North Pemberton Road, by all means.
But that was the prior administration. More damage done to the residents.
We have a motion.
Make a motion to approve, to introduce 26-2025 with a second reading to be September 3rd.
I'll second.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
No.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
We will get the roads done, though.
Okay, ordinance number 27, 2025. An ordinance of the Township of Pemberton, County of Burlington, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 62, Affordable Housing. Motion?
Does this have to go to planning for this?
This is an ordinance that's been,
It's been to the planning board the first time already, right?
oh, I don't know, but this is the first time it's been, it will go to the planning board.
Okay,
It'll go by
so
Plans
what
Commission.
kind of date are we gonna have to look for on that?
For the public hearing?
Yeah.
The planning board already met this month, it'll have to be the second meeting in September.
24th is, or no, the 17th is the second meeting.
Okay.
Will the planning board have seen it by then, maybe? I don't know when the
I'm not sure
meetings
when
are.
they're exactly the meetings are held.
I think they have one later this month.
They'll
I
get
could
it
be wrong, but I
tomorrow.
think the second one this month was
Yeah.
canceled.
Oh, was it?
Yes, sir, I believe.
Okay. Make a motion to introduce ordinance 27-2025 with a second reading to be 9/17.
I'll second that.
Planning board has a meeting on 9/4. This will go to them tomorrow. Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes. All right, new business, purchases over 3,000. A1, Public Works, upgrade to fire alarm system at municipal building and wastewater treatment plant
Council
laboratory from AFA.
Wasn't that approved under the consent?
No, we left new business out. Yeah,
My apologies.
no worries. Upgrade to fire alarm system at municipal building and wastewater treatment plant laboratory from AFA Protective Services, Inc. in the total amount of $4,775.
Matt, if I may.
Go ahead.
Isn't this the fire alarm system for the MUA in Birmingham? Right, that failed 2 years ago, and we're just getting around to getting it taken care of?
I didn't know it failed 2 years ago.
And we're just getting around to it.
Well, at least we're getting around to it.
Oh, yeah, yeah, you can't rush into stuff.
I'll make a motion, we approve new business 11A1.
I'll second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes. New business A2, police ammunition from Eagle Point Gun Shop in the total amount of $12,000.
I'll make a motion, we approve 11A2.
I'll second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes. 12, approval by council required for payment of vouchers on bill list dated 8/14/2025. Questions, discussion?
I got the same comments I make every meeting.
Can you just record them, just hit play?
What's that?
Just record them and hit play.
Yeah, I should. I mean, you know, because it's a waste of my good oxygen. But I see where, when I finally talked Mr. Wonderful into buying paper by the pallet, he was, we saved over $200 by buying it. But we had to unload the truck and get people involved and then deliver it. So I'm going through the bill list, and I'm circling them, all the different departments that bought paper and toners. The one thing that he did like, but I'm not crazy about the price, the $190.54 lease for all the machines, but at least they're all the same. This is one of the reasons where I suggest that we get a purchase agent in here, where we could have a couple toners in stock. You put it out to bid, you get the best price, somebody needs a toner, we have it. Same thing with the paper. There's just so much wasteful spending on this bill list, and it's insane.
You know,
Go ahead.
I might be wrong, I'm not the CFO, you'd have to check with her, but the way it was explained to me, because I had the same question about some other things going on, but they buy in bulk, but they have to, on the bill list, take it out from each department's budget. And they're still buying in bulk, but they're taking it out separately so
Well,
they can.
how can they be buying it in bulk if they're buying it from Mason?
I-
If you,
Yeah,
it tells you
I'm
where the
just-
toners come from.
Just
the
going by
paper.
what I brought up on uniforms, because.
The
it-
uniforms,
it
I don't
was
have a
bought-
problem
But
with
it was
that.
bought in bulk, and they
Yeah.
had to separate it out by
I don't have a
department.
problem with that. It's all the other stuff that kills you. You know, they'll they'd walk over $1 to pick up a dime. It's insane, the purchasing here. And I don't see anything in the future that's gonna correct it unless we do the job right and get the right person in here to do the buying. Somebody that's responsible.
All right, we need a motion.
Make a motion to approve the bill list.
I'll
Second.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes. Solicitor's report?
We had a meeting today with one of the redevelopers who signed a redevelopment agreement 2 or 3 years ago to build property on, I think it's on Spruce. And we had a good meeting. We're going to work out that contract to make it look a little better for the town. I think very much better for the town. So we have resolved the one with K. Navian. We are about to finalize the one with the borough in terms of buying water from the borough for a long period of time, which will allow the town not to have to put in another well or just pay for those capital improvements So I think that's going to be good for us. This one on Spruce Street is working out also. And we've been in negotiations with the attorney for, who had another redeveloper who has an agreement with the town. It's about 3 or 4 years old to develop the Bobolink area of town, but I think we're working that out also. The prior agreement, the agreement, which is in writing, didn't have that developer paying for its fair cost or fair share of the water that the borough, that the township paid for. In other words, we bought the DeBoer water system 4 or 5 years ago. We have paid a little less than $200,000 to run a water line to the beginning of that development. Well, we've negotiated with that developer that he should pay his fair share of those costs because we've paid to bring the water to him, and he should have to pay it on a fair basis. So that's going to happen now. That didn't happen before. So those are some of the things we're working on that I think that we've got some good results that are coming around. Thank you.
Mayor?
I just want to thank council for the consent on the new recreation director. I do believe that that is going to be a nice addition to the Pemberton family.
What is the start date?
You know, he asked me that in the hallway, and I told him I assumed he's going to want to give his employer a 2-week notice. So today's the 20th, the 2 weeks would be the 3rd. So he said he would be here on the 4th of September. And that's about all I have. Thank you.
Josh, you want to start?
Just like to thank everybody for coming out and sharing your thoughts and your ideas behind questions that are brought to our attention. Hope everybody has a good evening. I won't hold us up. Hope to see everybody next time. Thank you.
It's only been 8 months, but tonight was the hardest night for me. There was 14 or 15 reasons to say no to him. I elected to go with the 26,000 reasons to say yes. I hope I'm right. Have a good night, everybody.
Sure, Danny, go ahead.
Jack, last Tuesday, I called Jersey Central Power and Light, and I asked him when the lights for the ball field and the football field were going to be connected. And as of Tuesday, they told me that they have no work order opened on the lights. Now, in 2 weeks, they're going to be installed for a year. So my question is, and it basically comes down to ARH again, I'm sure they got paid for doing what they were supposed to do, but somebody dropped the ball. I know it's a grant, and we don't get all the grant money till the job gets done. And I just, for the life of me, can't figure out, the Monday after the lights were installed, they weren't called and had a work order scheduled to get these lights done.
I had asked after they put them in because it looked like the lights weren't focused where they needed to be focused on. And I did get an answer, and to be honest, it was a year ago. I can't remember what it was. I thought they'd been wired in and already adjusted,
No,
so.
because I know prior to them putting the lights in, we had to do a survey for Jersey Central to make sure we had enough power to light the lights,
This will be another email before I go home.
okay? You know, because they would have been an asset with the night out, as dark as it was, with everybody crossing the road to have a little extra light. And I was informed they're not even hooked up. So I took the liberty to call Jersey Central, and as of last Tuesday, there was no work order initiated to do the job.
And I honestly don't know if it's Jersey or PSE&G.
It's Jersey Central.
Because we have a mix of it in the town.
Well, PSE&G is Birmingham.
Okay.
Pemberton Township's JCP&L. During the carnival, one of the gentlemen that's involved with setting up the carnival for St. Anne's approached me and said that that power panel out there that they're using is outdated. It needs some attention, and I told him that I would bring it up at this meeting to see.
Actually, one of our residents who's very involved with the carnival and also a leader within our fire department and the borough's fire department approached me and informed me that there's a lot of problems with the electrical that feeds that field. And I knew I want to say the bandstand, I don't know what you would call that lean-to thing. I know that needs some attention, and one of the public works guys said that it would be easy enough to put some kind of roof on that to protect it. So I'm hoping council will be able to work with me next year when we look at that field and try to make some improvements to the existing facilities that we utilize quite regularly there.
Right. Do we have any other big events scheduled for the rest of the year there?
I talked to our new recreation director. I think the next big event that we would be doing would be the Fall Fest or the Trunk or Treat or whatever you want to call it out here in this field. I told him that when he comes in, we're going to have a conversation, and he's going to definitely hit the ground running. I would love to see that still go, but he's going to have a learning curve behind him, so it's going to be a team effort.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think with this panel, we shouldn't wait till next year. We should get somebody on that because we don't need anybody electrocuted or hurt.
I understand, Councilman, but, I mean, we have a budget. It's been established, and I don't know if that was called out for this year's budget.
I don't know.
So if we do that, where do I take the money from?
Well, you can't make decisions by crisis. You know, if it's a safety concern, you know, there was quite a few people there. I mean, it should be.
Dan, I agree wholeheartedly.
Okay.
I mean, there's just some logistics. The carnival just ended. We got to figure it out.
Okay. Saturday at 1 o'clock at the Country Lakes Clubhouse. It's back to school. The coupon, okay. They're going to be handing out school supplies and book bags to the kiddies in Pemberton Township. I'll be there. I don't know if Harry can make it, you know, because can we have more than two there if it's a community thing? Okay, I just make for.
Are you there for the school? Are you going to take some school?
No, I'm a zero liability to this town. I have no kids in school. I live on a county road. Okay? Yeah. So, you know, if you have grandkids involved in the schools in Pemberton Township, please attend and get your goodies.
What time's that?
It starts at 1 o'clock. Other than that, I'd like to thank everybody for hanging in there. I'm not a grumpy old man. I'm just fighting for you guys. You know, there's nothing better than do it right the first time. Okay? Thank you very much for attending, and we'll see you at the next meeting.
Hit that mic. Okay, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. I mean, you know, we've done a lot of good work in this town, you know, and I have to give it to Jack when it's due. We've come together on a couple different things in the last couple weeks, and, you know, the council was involved, and we've worked through some issues, as Jerry was saying, about some developers, something else that popped up in the town that, you know, needed some attention. And when we all work together, things work well, you know, and I mean, there are a lot of good committees that are going on. The Economic and Development Committee is trying to do a lot of things, you know, in a positive direction for the town to help improve the look of the town and the way the town is. I was at a environmental committee meeting last night. You know, they're looking at, there's some Green Acres grants out there to preserve some more land in the township, and hopefully tomorrow afternoon, with Jack's approval, I can meet with the recreation director to go over some of that stuff, because I'm kind of like the middle guy on that.
He's still working for Willingboro tomorrow
I mean,
afternoon.
no, I'm sorry, not community development, I'm sorry. I had that director on my mind. But, you know, we like to, you know, try to move forward. There's a, you know, grant process and all, and, you know, she has, the environmental committee can make suggestions, but it takes, you know, her to do some of the things that have to be done as far as the applications and stuff. But, you know, these committees, you know, they work for free, but they do good things. They're trying to help the community out. They've, you know, talked about some rain gardens and stuff, because unfortunately, the DEP, that's one of their new methods of purifying the rainwater. You know, they want more rain gardens in the town, and we have to do what we can with the grants that they'll give us for that kind of stuff for rain purification. You know, but hopefully we can keep moving forward in those things. Yeah, it's just a lot of good things if we all work together, and I think we can. You know, I mean, you know, even among the best of us, you saw tonight, we had some split votes up here. Yeah, doesn't mean we don't like each other, you know, we never said we were always going to agree on things, you know. Sometimes it's a tough night, you know, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we wipe our hands off and, you know, go back to work for the best of the town, you know. That's all there is. We're never going to totally agree on things, you know, but it takes a village, and that's, I think we're moving in that direction. You know, the carnival last week was one of those great town things. I was out there 3 nights. There was a great, you know, town, you know, response out there. The people were out there having a good time. And we do need those kind of events for the town people to appreciate Pemberton, you know. So thank you for coming out again. See you in 2 weeks. Have a happy Labor Day.
All right. You know, as Councilman Harper said, we have a lot of committees. Their meeting times and places are all located on the township webpage. I'm asking the residents, if you're interested in getting involved, go to the township webpage, pick a committee, and sit in on the meeting and see if you like it. You know, because we can't get nothing done, or we're not going to get it done right if we don't have the right input from the residents. We don't make decisions in a vacuum up here. We want input from you to make the right decisions. And also piggybacking on what Harry said, you know, if we could work together, work as a team, we'll get a lot more accomplished. And we definitely don't agree on everything. We have some pretty heated discussions at times up here. But at the end of the day, the decisions that we make, whether we all agree on them or we split 3-2, 4-1, what have you, it's always in the best interests of the town. But tonight was a hard one. I got to agree with Perry on that one. You know, this gentleman coming in as a new rec director, no, not a resident, but we have other department heads that are not residents. Highly recommended, great feedback. Did he come in at a premium? Probably a little too high, but our hands are tied. We need a rec director. And without a rec director, or nobody in the rec department, or managing the senior center, to what the mayor said, and I've been a very vocal critic of this man, and people know that. But without people in that department, things are going to have to be cut. He wasn't lying. He wasn't making it up. He wasn't being vindictive about it. That's just a fact. There's nobody in there. We need somebody. I just hope that Mr. Brunson knows the size of the shoes that he has to fill. They are huge. And I wish him all the best. I look forward to working with him. And, you know, if he's watching or listening, you know, we're here to support him and help him be successful. That's what we want. If he's not successful, the town's going to suffer. So that's all I got. Thank you for bearing with us for 3.5 hours. But have a great night. Have a happy Labor Day. Motion to adjourn?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. I try every now and then. Every now and then. Every now and then. Oh, Danny, you are grumpy. You are grumpy.